welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. And greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, and I am just filled with inspirations and love once again. So truly, thank you. Thank you to you, for you who are stopping in whichever platform at whichever time. Thank you. Thank you for joining this experience with me, because I'm going to talk about us, those of us who are here together. Brother, thank you, man. I am so grateful to meet some of the characters I have met. Provo Planet. Yes, for those of you who have not discovered the talent and gifts from Provo Planet, please take a look. Give him a subscribe, then an unsubscribe, though. We don't want him to get too big. Don't want his ego to grow, so to say. And Nude Guru, blessings to you. Sincerely, thank you for joining. And Station 33, I'm a fan of his too. So if you haven't come across Station 33, again, careful with him though too. We don't want his ego to get too big either. But hey, blessings to all of you. Golly geez, what a special life we've been given. Let me get to some things. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link. We'll let that roll wherever it rolls, and we'll see what the future of this stream reveals. But let's start with the thumbnail today. There is no other day. And these are not my words, C.S. Lewis, but these words are true. There is no other day. All days are present now. This moment contains all moments. I've been kind of sharing that over the past few days, and part of that was from inspiration, this thought. So I offer forth, kind of in line with that there is no other day. Today starts the rest of your life. So to you, brothers and sisters, those who are joining here with me together today, let's do this. Let's realize and accept. Today starts the rest of our life. Starts the rest of your life. The past was preparation and development for today. And from here forward, you can, I practice. You can practice. Allow love to lead you through the future. Allow love to honestly lead you. The only real time is the present, the moment called now. So lose yourself in the moment as often as you can develop, so that you live in the here and now with love. And hey, we've got our first guest, another man who shines brightly. Welcome, Illumitami.
What's up, Jack?
How you feeling today, brother?
Oh, same old. I heard you got your house situation squared away. And I'm only asking in the context of I'm still trying to possibly make the random fan trip this summer, if you're still capable of that.
I believe so. Yes, it may all come together. Right now, I don't have the logistics, of course, but
yeah, it's not that I don't have it that set in stone. I'm just still
Yep. Count me in. Count me in. And actually, if I can be of support in any way, I'd like to. And dude, if you're gonna, I don't know your plans real clear, but if you're gonna start traveling and wandering a little, Tommy, you're welcome to please come check out here.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have been throwing me offers, so all the offers might make it more of a thing than I had actually intended to do a thing at first. But there's a few things I got to see what happens around here in the next couple weeks, and then I'll start making some hard lines on it. But
Love it.
the way I can support you in the future, Jack, is if you really want to be a Christian and a Jesus follower, I have to start showing you, like I either have to take you as a false witness heretic, or I have to try and show you the things you don't have. It's got to be one or the other, or just total what's it called um, excommunication. But I don't plan on doing that.
Thank you. Um, I, brother, we'll let the future, we'll figure it out. The answers will arise to us.
Yeah, and I mean I'll
I
throw you the
appreciate.
answers.
I'm sorry. What?
'Cause, I mean, sometimes you're right. It's like God is love. Uh, he wouldn't think it's horrible if you had a good life, but it's not all that, especially in this day and age. There will definitely be the suffering of those who follow him. And we always suffer in the flesh, lest we spend time at the genitals or doing drugs or all of the things.
Well, Tom, you're saying some things where at the last minute I was kind of inspired with some thoughts about love. What has been lacking in our world? What's lacking in our government? What's lacking in the economics? What's lacking in our lives? Love.
Yeah, but if you saw that Jordan Peterson clip I shared where he talks about on LSD, your brain makes too many connections, like connections that you shouldn't be making, like feeling the oneness. And I don't think some of those places are for, like, we do need a plastic, shallow system that can be separate from uh, our human emotions. Like,
See,
I don't want to go to the DMV in the bank and have to worry about everybody's emotional state to get my business handled, you know?
I understand that. I do. The I envision us though being able to change and reform the ways of the world. I really do. This is, I believe, Tommy, I truly believe we are. It is the the solutions for us all is to learn how to love the truth. Simple as that.
Yeah,
When
and
we
even I've been on my stance about things can still turn around. Like even though I still say this is all the foundation for what will be end times B system, uh things can turn around and things can turn up because I'm back on the end of the world isn't necessarily in our lifetime. Like some of the people I subscribe to would even suggest probably an easy 200 years plus till they would think the whole Jesus return happens. And granted, it can be any moment. That's how the religion is. But their logic in the things, there's some of them say like, yeah, easily 200 years, not in our lifetime. But I can definitely see how like the cashless system is. It's all setting up so that generations that might not even be born yet won't realize how it's all in place for those things.
I don't know what the future's going to bring. I only know what's in my heart and what I'm pursuing. I truly believe the day of, well, here right before this stream, I had visited Paul Unslaved over on Proper Instruction Motivates People.
Oh, I'm
And
sorry.
well, it was an interesting time because I was sitting there getting falsely accused by snafu again.
It's a
And
rare
so
occasion.
right, it's like this crazy dream I keep having and he keeps having. I wake up every day and he wants to believe I'm inappropriate with people.
It's
Anyway, with
crazy though. I haven't seen any of them. Like I have kind of backed off on panels, but none of them come by my panel anymore. I've done something correct and I don't know what it was. But I haven't seen Hide or Hair of Paul, Snafu. I didn't even know Snafu was still functioning until Venus and some people said they were still around.
hey, Nude Guru, this lesson, that's what I want to bring into the halls of Congress. I'd like to speak to the citizens that are employed currently in Washington, D.C., in the United States government to remind them of these things. They have an obligation to what is right, not they have an obligation to what is true. Let me be accurate. We all have an obligation to what is true, and currently the members of Congress have been obedient to corruption, to the persuasion of the lobbyists. Hey, Tom, take over for a moment. God brought someone to my door. I'm gonna see what's what.
Jeez, I really hard to tell. See, he could be facing the old John Lennon ending, whereas Jack's face is gonna get melted off by whoever's at the door. That's been happening a lot recently. Like, how fucked up are people that, like, how, what do you got against someone where you're like, the only thing I can think of is to knock on their door and when they answer, I'm gonna splash acid in their face. Like, that's happened to a couple people recently. I don't mean like recently, like in the past week, but I've heard a couple different stories of people that have had acid splashed on their face, usually when answering their front door. And correct me if I'm wrong, Chad. I think that's how John Lennon got taken out. Wasn't a big fan. He was quite the Antichrist entity himself, but it was a shame. He was a good musician. Uh, Definitely a point in my direction for staying confirmed bachelor. Don't need no Yoko Onos in my life. Um, let me see. Let me catch up on the chat here. No, guys, I'm just a little tired. I have real life stuff I deal to outside of the panelverse. So whenever I come on chill, no, it's not that I've run out of crystal methamphetamine, if that's what you're implying. But oh, that's just based Oracle. That motherfucker is I don't know why he thinks it's a thing. Like I don't say he can't be here. I even say I never said Paul and Snafu had to leave, but like Paul and Snafu, I feel like base Oracle carries a undeserved sense of entitlement in this community for absolutely nothing. There's there's no warranted justification for how he carries himself. I've actually clowned on him more often than not. Um, and maybe he'd be good with the unslaved, how they just kind of every day is the first day. Well, so I've still been dealing with the roofless folk further convicting me to move on with my ruthless summer thing. Hopefully that rolls into the rando fan and some of these offers that have been made, and hopefully before the end of summer end up back on my land, to at least make some kind of sturdy facilitation of storage or roofing. We'll see what happens. I can't share the chats to the screen. The way old life is the corruption which makes people who practice this way of life the corruption. Yes, Yoko was awful. Number 8, number 8, number 8, number 8, but what's her name? The musician. It's right on the tip of my tongue. Tricky used to crash on her couch. Man, I can't. It's right there. I can see her name. It's Asian chick musician. She's better than Yoko Ono. She makes more like electronic stuff. And Tricky used to crash on her couch. No, not Taylor Swift. And her name has a pronunciation. Like I want to say it's kind of like Borg, but you'd pronounce it Borge, but I can't remember what her name is. You guys know it, man. Oh man, now it's driving me nuts. I'm gonna try and Google it here. I'm gonna try and You ever try and Google just a close statement that that'll get you your results, hopefully, even though you have nothing, no grounds in a direction to try and get your answer. Jack's probably fine. The longer he's gone, the more talky they're doing at the door. It's yes, thank you, Bjork. 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 Yes, she is better than Yoko Ono. But I always wondered if she got a little influence. And maybe it's just because they're both Asian females. But yeah, I always wondered if she had any influence from Yoko Ono or any fandom to her. Because she does the experimental weird songs, but still better than anything Yoko Ono brought. Yoko Ono was probably just a demon. Yeah, is it Bjorn? It's Bjorn, right? Because there's also a band called Bjorn Again. But yeah, Jack went to answer his door and quite possibly had acid splashed in his face like John Lennon. That's how we got on the Yoko Ono tip. But yeah, man, things are really up in the air right now, guys. No, he's not trying to scare us. Now, if Jack's gone this long, especially knowing that I'm at the helm of his show, if he's gone this long, it's for good reason. If it was the ATF, I doubt they have anything to inspect or confiscate. So he didn't get shot by the ATF. Jack is not a world-renowned musician. He is not in a band. So he's probably not getting acid splashed in his face. Where did I get you booted? Rebecca Joe, where did I get you booted from? Why? I don't even go there. Oh, because of the he got mad because I told you you might very well be middle class, upper to middle class. Well, that's his problem, man. He's fucking insane. And you saw how weak he is. when he showed up, said the things in the chat and wouldn't come up. He's weak. Like I'll go, like, I was trashing on Moose because Moose hasn't changed, but I'll give Moose, at least Moose will come up on a panel if you got words to have with him. Probably recently, Moose, because the last time I was ever at Benton's channel, when he was crying about getting kicked out of here and changing the story up, I had told Rebecca Joe on my channel, hey, I think you are middle to upper class. If your situation is the way you described on Benton's, I think you are upper to middle class. Because Benton wants you all to believe that we're already in this Elysium haves and have not situation. And it's coming. It's coming. I can vouch for that too. It's like Andrew Tate says, if you're not rich in the next decade, you never will be. You will be solidified as a pleb if you don't do something in the next 10 years, because they're removing the chaos. They're removing the chaos that gave you the chances for success. And life is going to get real bourgeois, mediocre, because there's a net you won't fall past and there's a ceiling you'll never exceed. And that's why you won't go anywhere in the future. Like, you'll have your UBI, you'll have whatever task or not job, whatever. Your job might be to deal with whatever they're doing to remove you from this earth faster. So yeah, man, it's gonna be very shit, dare I say, very Demolition Man, and there's not gonna be a lot of opportunity because, like I said, back in the day, a serf or a peasant could go off to war, and war is like a chaotic thing. You could go off to war, do well, get knighted, come back a nobleman from war, be granted your land and your you know, abode, your mansion, whatever. And then you would have serfs and people living under you working your land. We might be going back to that. We might be going back to that, guys. You ever think of that? Like a digital noble serfdom, like a digital nobleman and serfdom thing. Because if we do lose all this opportunity and chaos, and people are either haves or have nots, we very much could go to like a meta nobility serfdom type thing. Maybe in the metaverse. Well, but you don't have to take my word for it. All these things are going down in real time. This is what I'm like trying to tell this community to snap out of it, because I've mentioned this, I've looped this a couple of times on my channel, that we've discussed for damn near 2 years about the things that are coming and changing, and now they're here and things are changing, and some of y'all are like, you don't know what to do with yourselves. You're like, it's catching you out of left field. It's like, oh, did you not realize that we weren't just like improvisationally speaking all that time? That like we were seeing the things and speculating the things? And then we should have said, well, when will then be now? And I would have said soon. And that's now. Like, we're there. And we're only going to be more there. Where's my paper? Okay, pal. Oh. Oh, hey, Jack. Welcome back.
Thank you, brother. I could have taken that off.
You didn't have acid splash in your face at the door, right? And it wasn't the ATF there to confiscate guns with switches that you don't own, right? The chat was worried for you, Jack. I told them not to worry, but they were worried. They were like, what's taking him so long?
I do apologize for taking so long. It was a couple of,
It's probably the best segment of your show. It's just me talking.
well, let me go for a little bit,
All right.
please.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute so I can microwave.
Thank you, brother. And thank you for covering for me. I appreciate it. Sincerely. I love you, Tom. I really do. It was a couple of young missionaries from the LDS church, Squire and Maynard. I didn't write their names down, but I'm trying to remember because I think they're going to return tomorrow. And they were reminding me that there's apparently prophets here on earth and that I should join the religion, the one religion, apparently, is said by the young man
Well,
confident.
were they Mormons or Jehovah's Witnesses?
The LDS, which I believe is the Mormon.
Latter-day Saints? Yeah, they're not. I mean, I know they're saying Jesus and God and stuff, but that story, that's sketch. Even Provo will be like, nah, it's pretty sketch. And he is one of those.
Well, it's interesting. My life is truly interesting. And what we discussed, I see the good. I see a lot of good in a lot of different things. And the Mormon church, I've met some amazing people that come from that group tradition,
Oh,
that
yeah, they're very nice.
whatever.
Yeah.
So
And I used to have a bit about wouldn't it be funny if only Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses went to heaven? Because they were pounding on your door every weekend. They were trying to tell you. And they were like up your ass more than you wanted them around. So it'd be ironic if they were the only ones that could help.
here, the thing about the religions, though, man, many of them miss the point. And this is what I spoke about with the young missionaries, is that that's what they wanted to remind me. Jesus is coming. And I said, well, sure. He's eternally here. God is eternal. Jesus is eternally present, except when we deny it. And the media convinced many people that they couldn't be kind. They couldn't be good. They couldn't be honest. The world has created a bunch of liars, man.
Well, I think that's always a test. It's not like they created liars. You're always going to be tested in a situation to, oh, it'd be easier just to lie through this and not deal with it. But that's why I've redacted my stance. Whenever I used to say lying is an amoral thing, like I used to say, hey, try and raise kids from birth to 18 and without lying and see how easy that is. Whenever you just answer your toddlers every question to the best of your ability. But I've redacted all that. I try not to lie at all.
That's the way. It's the only way to uncomplicate our lives is to stop lying. And a lot of times we lie when we say we can't understand. That's something I realized for myself.
Oh, that's the go-to card to play against me. That's what everybody always said.
Yep.
Like,
I've
oh,
seen
we
that.
can't understand anything you say, Tom. Unless we're loving how you're digging on our enemies, then we understand perfectly what you're saying.
Permission to speak.
Please welcome Easy.
Hey, I was thinking about No More Secrets. I really was. And I thought about the paradox of if you're in, or anybody, not you, anybody is in Alcoholics Anonymous, that No More Secrets means that they're not anonymous anymore.
Yeah, it's true. I never thought about that because it wasn't a big deal, but there isn't any kind of anonymity to Alcoholics Anonymous. You're not there in masks. You tell people that you're going to the meetings. There's nothing anonymous about it.
Well, here, actually, let's as you mentioned that, I started thinking that through. Why is that? Well, think about when it was formed back in the, as I remember, it's been a long time, but I think around the 50s. And it was in the earlier days that, you know, people lived a different way. You know, you were real separated from the neighbors. You were real careful about what was shared. You didn't talk about your problems. You only showed and talked about your successes. Problems or family issues, you don't talk about that shit. That's why there was so much abuse. And, you know, admittedly, even today, when people are honest about past addictions and past problems, people are quick to judge. So the anonymity of someone seeking recovery, I respect that, at least in this day and time, because, you know, the world is punishing. Everyone's been taught to step on each other and to be brutal. That's why I'm suggesting that what the world needs, what the world is waiting for, what the return of Jesus is, it's love. That was his one commandment. He said it many different ways, but love. And the Bible that many religions come from, the Bible repeatedly says, be not afraid. Do not fear. And Jesus didn't show fear. Jesus, I guess he may have shown some anger. Which is why I don't get why people are so friggin' unforgiving of me when I showed my anger.
Well, Jesus may not have showed fear, but he did tell the apostles, like, after this day, you should go get a sword.
Well, thank you for that reminder. A new commandment I give you. Love one another. And he demonstrated, he walked the walk, showed how to love. And I see ways. The two go together. What I spoke about with the missionaries, right? From what I've been learning and experiencing, the truth of God cannot be denied. Okay? It's
Oh, you do a pretty good job of it.
well, the love of Jesus should not be denied. Your experience. The Spirit of Christ is eternally present. It is only our denial, our ignorance, and our foolish choices that prevent the Spirit from being known.
Who's preventing
That's
that?
it. The individual.
Oh,
Well,
that
actually,
makes sense.
everyone has always been in the presence of God, and even atheists are, and they just don't realize it because that's what half of the torment of hell is the actual separation from God. Like right now, we're in God's presence with faulty versions of our flesh bodies, and if you don't go to hell, one day you'll experience what we were meant to be in God's presence as humans. But Jack, he had more than one commandment. He had like 10 of them.
Well, it boils down to one. To love without condition, which is what he offered, is to free yourself. And that's actually, I want actually, Nude Guru, this is on topic, really. Distinction is the system of control. It works through distraction, and distraction is abusive. Limit your abuse, limit your distractions. It's the ultimate neglect of the truth, and the result is ignorance. Awareness is key. Practice awareness always now. Now. It's always now. Be aware of now. People lose sight of what's really happening. And then everyone's pretending like they know, and they're going along with this corrupted government, corrupted economic system. It's all
Right.
corrupted.
Hey, Jack,
Well,
I like those
it's
thoughts.
a
I got to just add
system.
one small thing. Just with, if you think about it, every brand new human that is born is definitely like hugely inclined towards indoctrination into the system, like by default without their consent, I guess. So if you think about it, every new person that's born is a soldier in some regards, and the system wants to take control of that very, 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 very quickly. And they're talking about a lot of crazy stuff.
That's true now, but the thing I don't like that the unslaved has done to Jack's poor brain and other people's poor brains is this is just the order of society that we came up with. Like it's not like everything we partake in is bad, you know? Like they talk about the registration on your car, but if your car gets stolen, that's the easiest way to find out which
Yeah,
one
but
is
I'm saying
yours.
like I'm saying from like a mental frame, formative years, the years of formatting.
Well, that's just a
And
way. That's just how humans are, that you'll set into something by a certain age.
right,
Whether,
which is what I'm saying they're taking advantage of.
but all sides do that because it has to be. You can't be an unformatted human as an adult. You have to format to a thing. It's kind of like babies come into the world with the ability to say any dialect, any syllable, any pronunciation, and as they settle into their primary language, they'll lose a lot of that. That's why I can't do accents as good as I used to.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
let me.
this is why I tell Rance that my Bible wasn't corrupted, because no matter what system I'm in, I can just keep my life to this basic Jesus path, and it doesn't matter if there's abortion clinics on every street because I don't get abortion. Doesn't matter if there's all kinds of things going on
You're the
that I
man.
don't.
Hey, Tom. Um, couple of questions from your. I want to get to this comment, but from your streaming experience, when you get a copyright strike, what it just pauses the stream, or what happens?
You won't be able to do anything on YouTube for a week. I mean, I could comment on my channel stuff, but as far as like chats, the chats were weird. Some
Well,
channels
here
said they could.
I want to play this, and I don't know what the rules are. I haven't wasted my time to look. I haven't invested my time to learn what the rules are as well as
Let
I
me
could have.
see. Let me see. No, man. I mean, if this isn't, well, it is a music video. We'll do the Venus test. If you scroll down a little bit, does it say like it's a YouTube? Uh, does it have like a YouTube stamp a little ways down if you hit more? Yeah, yeah. Scroll down there. Hmm. I mean, it's always up in the air, but Venus showed us a way to like get kind of close to seeing if it would be okay. What song is it?
It's kind of like it's just some meditative beats. It's the one I shared in your back stream. Was that last night? Recently?
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, here, let's go. We'll get back to this. When you're riding, yeah, when you're riding a bike and you feel balance slipping, pause, regain balance, and continue. Practice pause to stay focused in the present. And this is the topic today is practicing pause. I was realizing last night, and I won't go into the story, but I observing myself, I realized I'd been doing and I wasn't thinking. You don't have to think to do. Realize that. You You don't have to think to do. Habits and reactions move many people, and they're not thinking. You don't have to think to do, but it can sure help if you pause and allow yourself to consider what you're doing, what your intention is, what the purpose is. If you pause, you can listen.
Jack, are you referencing my patented system of self-help? The first class is think, hold that thought, repeat.
Well, I guess it's a different approach to the same idea. The idea is to pause, to gather your thoughts. I started thinking more about that too. The idea of pausing, because often the reactions will be, yeah.
Do you ever stop to think and then forget to start again?
Stop. Yes. Yes. And then I find myself doing, and I'm like, what the hell am I doing? When did this happen?
Think, hold that thought, complete. And then the second class is learn, start, doing.
Learn, start. Yes.
Yeah. Learn the act of starting.
Yes. People forget to start. Oh, I got to learn this. I got to do this. And then they find all these excuses and never actually start doing what they're saying. I've watched it, and I know I've experienced it. That's where the key to our individual growth and awareness, to break the old habits, retrain yourself. Because I started thinking most of the problems in my life happened because I moved with anger. Anger and fear is what has corrupted and contaminated this whole world. So it's after we move without thinking things through and we react with anger or other things, when we reflect, that's when we learn. So if you can condition yourself to pause first, if you feel those energies rising, those impulses and thoughts, if you can pause, they'll pass. And then you can wonder, all right, what's that about? What do I do with that? If that makes sense.
One way I feel separated from a lot of society is compared to what I hear from most people. I do not suffer from anxiety in almost any way. Like, I mean, I'll get stressed out a bit over a situation like anybody, but as far as just constant nagging anxiety, I don't have it. Even whenever I was doing a bunch of speed and stuff, I wasn't plagued by constant anxiety.
I can believe that. However, what I learned to do for myself is to focus on how much calm there actually was not. That's what I first started noticing, was the absence of calm and peace. And the more that I've been practicing this meditation and the loving thoughts ideas, the more at peace I feel in the present, and the present kind of expands longer and deeper. And it's kind of a cool feeling, man.
If you say so.
Well, I want the world to feel what it feels like to live with peace in their heart and in their present. A lot of us create reasons to feel agitated. We imagine things. The power of mind, it's friggin' amazing, man. And children were not taught how to use their minds. They were taught how to ignore.
I don't know, man. Like, I get the indoctrination thing, but between our community and other shows and channels, I keep hearing a lot of this, school useless thing. And it's like, well, if you cancel out the history that's written by the winners and stuff, really you can learn a lot in school if you apply yourself. I mean, no, it's not fun. It's not delivered in an entertaining or engaging way all the time. But I'm running circles around half this community and I was like an average student. But I mean, I know my sciences and my math where it's relevant. Uh, those things are provable. You can know that you're not being taught wrong in those aspects. Um, Now I do get that it was set up to like make us like factory workers, like with the bell ringing and you switch your class. And, we were trained for that, and I bet we weren't given all the possible tools we could have been given. Because there's stuff I learned in college that I was like, why do we not do this in primary school? Like figuring out
Right.
what learning style you are. We should
Right.
do that in primary school. And
Yes.
I've never heard of it till college.
Right. This is exactly it. There's been throughout the development of society, there has been a resistance to do what is good. First, we went from having children in the coal mines here in America, so they could get a jump start on their career, I guess. It was because of absolute economic slavery, which it still is today. But along the way, many, many workers and people died, sacrificed themselves so that things could change. And then we outlawed child slavery, and those in power allowed the children to receive the best education everyone else could pay for. It's like it's the way society has developed. It's resulted in corruption and insanity. People have lost sight of what's important. But unrelated to that, hold on, Tom. Sorry.
No,
Welcome to The Machine Lies. How you doing, brother?
Hey, what's going on, friends?
well, let me
Blessing.
try and put a thing on that before you leave it sitting, Jack. Like, yes, there were kids working factories and mines and stuff, but it wasn't like, oh, we have to slavery. It was, we can do it. Roll up your sleeves. That's life. Like, they wanted jobs. And then we eventually got to a point where we don't do that now. But that was back during the time when it was all hands on deck, pumping out for your country. Ask not what your country can do for you, all that jazz. And don't forget, that was back whenever you could probably raise a family off just the father of the house working. Like you could probably buy a house, go to college, blah, 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 just off the father working. So it's not like those kids were enslaved over need.
You're not wrong. There was a lot of the human. Actually, thank you. I'm going to bring this back into a different inspiration I had earlier today too. We are here to overcome. The people of the past, you're right. They were willing, the homesteaders and the people who developed everything from the past, they were willing to sacrifice, to dig in, do the hard work and get it done. They were able to overcome a lot of the challenges of the past. And in doing so, we found ourselves with a lot of comforts and yet a lot of restrictions. So we are, by our design, Jesus demonstrated it, we're here to overcome. That's the spirit of life. That's what nature brings forth. It overcomes, it adapts, it becomes greater than. That's what we're all here to do.
And also, there wasn't a whole lot, like, what else are you going to do back then? Even kids today are troubled by all the options coming out of high school. Back then, you either did what your parents did, went into the military, or did a trade, and there wasn't any other options than that. And it was easier because you didn't have much to pick from. Now the sky's the limits with choices, and these Zoomers, their heads are spinning.
The world has been, things are not always as they seem. Things in the past weren't as they seemed, and things today aren't either. What we can recognize today, what we're seeing in the economic disparity, in the continuing funding of wars and the criminal justice, injustice systems, it's showing a lack of responsibility. And a lack of responsibility is only a product of perpetuation. We reap what we sow. We don't have to be abusive. It's not healthy, and it bears no fruit for us. These are the words that I want to bring into the leadership of corporate and the states. I think it's time for us to change this world. I believe we are the change God created. Welcome, Hank. Good to see you too, brother.
Yep, I snuck away from my camp, my church's facilities committee's bonfire to come in and just make a cameo appearance.
Appreciate that. Thanks for joining, Hank. You said you're at the church committee plant. You're involved with the church function today.
Yeah, the maintenance committee's bonfire. But it's pretty much, we ate everything so far, so might as well come in and check up on you guys.
I appreciate it. Thank you for joining, Hank. Hey, Machine Lies, any thoughts arising through you so far? Anything you want to share?
Well, I like the title of today's show, about moments. I always say that a picture is worth 1,000 words, but a moment is worth 1,000 pictures, and really you could take a moment and divine for infinity where we see what happened and what brought us to that specific moment. And obviously, I think the past, present, and future have to function as a whole. So I will say that, I think that, as a brilliant artist, Slug from Atmosphere, he said, we got to learn, teach the kids how to turn their minutes into moments. I love that line by him.
It is beautiful. All of us can do that. It's real easy in this world we've created, the economic system and everything. It's real easy to lose track of what's important. And then the way the world has taught us is we're supposed to carry around stuff from the past and pretend like it's more important than the future.
Well,
We're here. No.
If you forget the past, you're going to repeat it.
Only if you don't learn from the past will you repeat it.
Right, and if we forget those lessons, that's why you have to carry.
Well, yeah, once you learn the lessons, you interrupt the patterns. Once the patterns are overcome,
But you can forget those lessons. You can forget.
Well, hey, there's a saying, higher levels, different devils, right? So once we make it through one pattern of life lessons, guess what? This life is God's game. We're here to play it. And there's going to be more lessons for us, but the goal is keep learning, keep growing every single day.
Oh, I agree. That's why rather than pushing back on your end all wars and secrets and see the UN and stuff, I'm just going to focus on once you figure out that's a wash, maybe I'll have something you can take part in to still make changes or do the thing.
But Tom, what if I prove you wrong?
You just prove you're wrong.
Well, I think change is one of those things that is necessarily a useful delusion, you know, and the same thing with progress. You know, it doesn't seem like a progress on the greater scale of change. Yeah, obviously, memories are more reliable than expectations for the future, but memories are also made up stories. You know what I mean? So it's funny how
Well,
that
I'm just
works.
saying, like with Jack and Paul and other online gurus, they seem to have this vision of like this one way for everyone and this one solving of the problems. And I just don't think that can be. And if it can be, I don't think it's through talking to the system overseers.
Well,
But the same way you said
Tom,
higher, what'd you say? Higher,
higher levels, different devils.
yeah, the same way that it's like start looking at the things you can change and you can do and see how many levels you go up and what kind of devils you go through. And I mean, I'll help you. I'll drive you to the UN if that's what you want to do, Jack. I just don't think you're going to find that that was the prime objective overall.
I don't know where I'm going to end up. I just know that I want secrets, government and corporate, to end. I want employees and people. Actually, Tom, you said some things that I won't deny. I do believe what I'm suggesting, it can work for everyone. People stop lying. We'll get along just fine.
Poker tables are going to
stop the
suck
government
if
corporate
people can't
secrets?
lie.
What was that, Hank?
Yeah, why are you stopping at government and corporate secrets? Or why?
Hank, are you at Jennifer's house? Are you sitting at that Paul spot at Jennifer's house? I knew that looked familiar. You're sitting at the old white wall, aren't you? I knew something was different.
Hank,
Yeah. Why don't you want to end all private secrets?
I believe, well, here's where I've come to humble myself and accept God is true. The truth is my God. Because all truth comes from God. Anything else is a distortion. It's not real. I only care about what is real.
I've got something new for that though, Jack, and this came up at my most recent LARP church. Things can be true and still not be scripture. Because this guy I watch a lot of stuff on, he pointed out, like, yes, these writings are true and exist, but Jesus told us what was actually scripture and what was to be abided by as scripture. So there is truth out there that still isn't scripture under God.
I think, yeah, no, I think I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think nature is scripture, and so is time, right? Nature and time are both living scriptures, you know.
Amen. That is it. Our God is for the living. When we are honest and authentic and we walk with love, which is the way we were shown, when we love and we become authentic, we become part of God's plan. And God's plan is for the truth to live. I do want everyone to end their own secrets. I want people to stop keeping secrets from themselves, meaning stop. People are fighting to stay in denial. This is what this is what I thought of earlier, because I was thinking about this. I said this on Paul's stream. The way he describes the corruption, he is actually a perfect witness to bring with me into DC when we present the case that proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that it's time for immediate reform, immediate change. But carrying that back to me, I realize that applies to me. I'm not the perfect witness. I am the evidence. I am the evidence of me and my life that my neighbors, my friends have refused to accept. It's crazy.
So what are you waiting for specifically? Why not just book the meeting and just go ahead?
Hank, your mic kind of sucks, and I only say that because I want to hear your autistic ass, and I can't tell what you're saying.
Yeah, we can't understand you, Hank.
Let me try
There was-
again. Can you hear me now?
There's a lag and maybe poor connection, I think, is the result. I don't think
Get
it's
closer to your microphone.
I have AirPods, Tommy. This is AirPods.
Oh, I've used those before. People complained about them when I used them too. Maybe pull one out and like talking at like Machine Lies microphone.
Okay.
Try and
Does
talk
this work
into
any
it.
better? Does this work any better, Tommy? Of course not.
That's a little bit better.
Not-
AirPods suck for microphones, I think.
Then why would you recommend a better microphone?
But also, if you have the
Yeah, I'm
newest
talking video.
AirPods,
Yeah.
if you have the newest AirPods, they're probably reading your thoughts.
Good. I think it's coming in better. I think the
What-
volume went down. But yeah, why not just go ahead and schedule the meeting and get on with it? What are you waiting for?
Well, people ignore me, and my attempts to communicate have been avoided, and it's been pretty challenging. But this is where my faith has been growing. God's with all of this. There's a power and a perfection that reveals every moment with us, through us, and for us. We are nothing more, really. We're little more or less than time. All we are is the experience. Yet the experience, man, that is infinite. It's timeless. It's
So,
precious.
here's the thing. I think you both already know what you were going to say. Why not, like, every quarter, just do the address over and over again until you get.
I'm not sure where you're. I mean, I am prepared to speak with anyone at any time.
Until you're not, Jack. Listen, that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to sit here and fight you and push back on it. I'm just going to wait till you figure it out. And when you figure it out, hopefully I'll have some pick you up option. I can flip you and flip you for real and just get you back on something and motivated on something. But I've realized there's a thing with you and Paul and some other people that you can't be told. 100 motherfuckers can't tell you nothing. And we have to wait till you just see it. And there's chance for you. I mean, Paul's oblivious. Like with you and Sophia and some people, when I see you guys talk about, oh, he's spot on with the rights and freedoms. No, actually, he's not. He still does a lot of babble that he's never going to peacefully sit long enough for me to dissect. But he has a lot of BS to his style. And if you guys can't tell, he has flip-flopped on a number of major points, as long as it's changing up according to how he wants to live his life at the given moment. But rights and freedoms are pretty basic. You'd never need a 2-year channel of every day for like 2 years. You wouldn't need that long to cover the basis of this man on the land stuff. And once you have that core logic, everything can expand from that. Like that's why I win in traffic court all the time, because it's just the basics that I know, and the fact that it's maritime court. And then from there you can just figure it out in real time most of the time. But it's also why you can't do the way the
I
Sobs
mean,
want, where they just want to crack the window, hand a card out to the cop, and sit there and get let go. It's not like that. You have to
right.
know what you're talking about.
Well, I
Well,
understand the drive that they're going for in terms of there seems to be a spike in libertarian movements and also anarchist movements. And the drive is
Mhm.
essentially that people are tired of mass surveillance and regulations and their own public information being used against them in some
Yeah,
sort
I
of way.
agree with that.
Which they
I
didn't.
agree with
Yeah,
that.
so I think that's really the problem that we're facing is that I guess on the one end there's a overarching structure and now it's international, and then the other end there's people who in response to it, they're willing to forego the entire system. So that's either that's going to lead to an eventual conflict, in terms of like maybe some type of you know um it doesn't have to be an armed conflict,
And
but
and
but
I
it is
am.
what it
I
is.
That's part of my ruthless summer is all at once I find myself paving my new path in that. Because like I said, when my credit union completely shut down my money over missing that payment and that made me miss all my payments, I'm mad. And I'm like, no, I've right now I'm officially switched over to like this crypto cash app system where I am my own bank right now. And it's like if I need money, I cash out the crypto and I send it through Cash App, and I have the debit card for Cash App. I'm about to separate from my credit union and all my credit cards and stuff, specifically in this movement you're talking about. But what I was talking about with Paul and stuff is in this movement, if you watch any particular guru, does the movement suddenly start to like center on them and revolve around their personal wants and desires? Because I definitely saw
Well, that's
that.
the thing. That's why he's aiming at the Chile de Castro guy, because that's the top dog right now. So he's trying to be
Hmm.
the in the place. So yeah, it's got to center around a leader. That's how all movements function. You know what I mean?
Well,
I
you
mean,
can
yeah,
have
it's
a
got to.
leader,
It doesn't just
but
come out of nowhere. There's ideological pressure from history. That's one thing, and then arrives a
no,
leader. You know?
no. But I know you need a leader or an instructor. But what I'm saying is he's bashing on his fellow rights and free, like he's bashing on Chile when it's like Chile went to jail. Isn't that what you say we should all do? Is go to jail?
No. I think that's the difference. He thinks you shouldn't go to jail, right? He thinks that's a
no.
sign of failure or something, or maybe I'm misunderstanding what the plot.
Well,
No, he's
so
always said that
here,
we all should be
um,
out getting arrested and sitting in a cell.
Tom, right. I want to jump in and help hopefully
Yeah,
because
yeah, sure.
there is some contradictions, right? Because just what you're saying, Tom, he's competing where he doesn't need to compete, and he's attacking where he doesn't need to attack. But apparently Chile didn't go to jail Paul's way. So it was wrong. And that's where
Right.
he's finding fault in it. Chile, on the other hand, he's similar to Paul, very brilliant, close to being on target, but he's a little bit off.
I think he's a lot better at the pullover situations than Paul.
Well, yes. I think so too. I haven't spent much time looking at Chile, but you know what? Here's what's unfortunate. Well, with Chile in jail, it's a different topic, but I mean, my hope is to grow, to get the attention, and hopefully people who have more attention than I've received, maybe they can share their platform and we can have some conversations like this. I mean, good stuff. And then maybe others will learn about me and we can grow this. But I see so many people just fighting each other, man. Welcome, Tark. How you doing, brother?
Hey, Zach. Hey, Tommy. What's up, Machine Life?
Hey, salam alaikum.
Hey,
Am I clear?
we've got. Yeah, you sound good.
All right, beautiful. Because I heard Machine Life say that you do gotta have a leader sometimes or somebody to, move something. I mean, that's how usually it's done. And Tommy kind of pivoted a bit. I'd like to hear Tommy's explanation. Like, where does he think Paul is wrong in terms of his maybe language or how he explains the law or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, I've always backed him on points where I say he's correct, but to really elaborate on your question, I would probably just have to sit there and you can hear it in most of the arguments we've ever had. But if I were to restream some of his stuff, I can go point to point and show you where the wordplay and the little subliminal games come in, because he does have issues. I mean, his heart's in the right place for the rights and freedoms, but it's conflicting with the person he is in this world with his experience he's been through. It gets in the way of things. Because, like I said, if he was always straight to the point about the rights and freedoms, he would have covered it all a year and a half ago. You could have covered it in less than 6 months at the rate he was paneling, and I get the entertainment, I get the hangout, I get the community.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Do you think maybe he's not covering it all because, like you said, it is entertainment mixing it? Like if you start a story or a movie or anything like that, you want to make it exciting along the way, so you can't just give it all the stuff right away, right?
Well, no, it's just
Peak.
I don't think he had any kind of curriculum or laid out plan for how to lay it out, but too much of what goes on in our community and his own stance and his own experience, it's gotten all mixed up. Because like that's what I was saying about the time with Brian getting pulled over the second time. It's like Paul was half of what I remember him being when I found his channel. Like him and Brian were just sitting there appealing to emotion to these cops and just doing all their panel verse arguments. Like have the back and forth, like all this. Like that doesn't matter at this point. Back whenever I found his channel, he would have broke that stuff down more technical, and I feel like he's even lost a lot of what he used to have. But yeah, man, it's hard to answer your question because how involved I've been and how in the weeds everything is.
How about
But
this? Sorry to interrupt, but my question that I really keep asking, what do we do now? Right? Because today's the day that starts the rest of our lives. What do we do now?
thank you,
From
come on.
here.
Well, what I'm gonna do is hopefully keep having. I'm not trying to steal any views, and I'm not desperate for. But I need people like Tarek and others to show up and provide. Like I have information, but I don't know it's information that you guys want because nobody's asking me or challenging me on things. Like so, I don't know what to
Not
fit here.
asking for it. I'm sorry. I interrupted.
No, you're all right. It's just the way we communicate. Like you don't sit and just know all the knowledge in your brain all hours of the day. You have to wait for somebody to be like, hey, do you know where the closest Walmart is? And you're like, oh, now I can tell you where the closest Walmart is because you asked.
Yes, thank you. That is an awareness that I realized in myself. I want to come back to this comment, but that we don't really know something. We don't even need to know something until the moment that it's needed. So don't worry so much about what we remember. We spend so much time trying to keep track of things and not forget. Well, when we're focused on not forgetting or keeping track, guess what? We're not letting new ideas in. And every moment of every day, there's the opportunity for new ideas. And what I found is it's the meditation. And here's just a heads up. I think I am later today. I'm going to come back and do another stream just simply about meditation. Practicing the pause to get the silence. All you have to do is train yourself to listen. When we listen, we open ourselves up to receive. And you don't have to listen for anything in particular, but listen within and see what whispers within you. There's, especially when we're dealing with a problem that we're facing, when we're like when we feel the confusion arise within us, we can practice the pause. And when we pause and we look at the facts, not our opinions, not our confusion, when we look at the facts, there will be a voice of reason that speaks within. And that voice of reason, it will have compassion. There will be compassion in the resolve. That's how you know it's true. That's what I've been practicing and learning for myself. The truth is obvious. The world is nuts. We are the solution to bring forth the new ways. And I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I'm inviting all of you, join with me. Let's become a we together.
Can I say something, Jeff?
7, please. You've been patient. Jump in, brother, please.
This all has to do with the sky. And I'm a sky watcher. And I get excited. You know, last night I called my brother, dude, I'm going to come to the studio with you tomorrow and I'm going to play music. And he was like, yes, well, the congas that you brought over, there's a special little wrench that I need. I need that little itty bitty 4-inch piece of metal, 7. Bring it. And then we can play music. He didn't need that thing, by the way. But I tore my apartment apart last night for 5 hours trying to look for that little wrench for our congas.
Been there.
In 4 seconds, I probably could have called him back and been like, I can't find it. And he'd have been like, it's all right. We'll figure something out. But instead, I didn't listen to what the universe is telling me. The congas will be fine. Our music will work. Why in the world am I going to tear this apartment apart last night to try to be perfect? To try to appease, well, to try to impress my brother that I'm doing better. You know, I mean, in about 2 hours, it's going to be in the sky. And I got distracted. I want to go play music. I want to be the best brother in the world. I want to find that little thing that my younger brother wanted me to find. Do you know what? I went off on like 15 people last night. They were calling me, hey, Seb, how you doing? We love your videos. We see the 3 sons. And I was like, I'm tearing my
Back
apartment apart.
off, man. Yeah,
What?
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I was attacking people, trying to find something to go play music with my younger brother to patch up the past. And all I did was make things worse. I can't listen. I can't humble myself and just be able to, okay, all right, I can't find the wrench, Lucky. His name is Lucky. He's a badass. You ought to look up his channel, Lucky Spalding, melodic guy. I was like, I knew it. I should have been simple, calm. I should understand that he's my brother. And I spoke to Jack for an hour earlier. It's like, why are you running, trying to make everything perfect, tear everything apart, when look at your cute little place, look at your soldiers, look at your artwork. I mean, I create more havoc in trying to look at the havoc of the world. But I'm a specialist at the sky. I get to my hill at sunset and I see the three suns and I see everything going on up there. So I feel special. So I run back home and I try to make everything perfect. That is what Jack is talking about. We can't make it all perfect, but we can silence ourselves and we can become a team. YouTube, I'm telling you, white hats are watching us. The government, the world, even the composer, the one among, like the one above, kind of the god of all this shit and all that. They're watching. They want a team. They want a perfect team. And
That's what I've been trying to tell this community is some of the things that they view as perilous or detrimental or actual white
Let me-
hat psyops.
let me do something real quick.
Akira! Akira! Akira!
I mean, when I called Jack earlier today, I was just in turmoil. I was like, Jack, I wanted to go play music, but I couldn't find the key. And I went off on everybody last night because I couldn't find the key. And then I called my brother this morning and I was like, man, I'm so exhausted trying to find the key to come play music with you. See what I'm saying? I should have been able to just release. And I think that's what Jack is trying to help some of us do. Is like, we do have to be the sword, but we don't have to pull it out yet. But it better be sharp when we need it. And it's our minds. And it's that sky. Like I literally, what, 7:24. So I've got an hour until I gotta be on that hill. Because there's three suns. We have to focus way more above all these platforms. And folks, do you know that half the world is flooding right now or burning or bombs blowing up? And when I call Jack every morning, well, just let me finish.
Please.
When I call Jack every morning and I talk about all this, he says, would you breathe? Would you calm down? Slow it down. You don't have to get the sky. Don't worry about three suns or bombs. Be love. Be breathing. See, that's why I like Jack. So I'll shut up. I'm sorry.
And you
All
need
right.
to carry that sword to be meek, because I subscribe to the Jordan Peterson definition of meek being those who carry swords, know how to use them, and choose not to.
Yeah, Peterson's a brilliant man, but he's confused on a few things himself. So he
Well,
lacks.
that's like
he
saying,
lacks.
that's like starting out with, well, I didn't vote for
Tell you
Trump.
what,
I don't agree with everything Trump says.
Tom, please. Actually, I hope to speak one day to Dr. Jordan Peterson. I learned a lot from him and the way his mind works. And I'd like to help return the favor because while he helped me develop in my own understandings of the mind, I can help him understand his own. I can help him grow in his own understandings of his spirit. See, the spirit is what I've been learning about. And I've been holding off. I wanted to get to this comment from Dominic. I came to this realization a long time ago, and I remember the moment. It was it's actually it was a perfect example. I was at a downtown at the park, and there was like a festival going on. And recently I had been kind of run out of one of my best friend's house by his wife. She got weirded out and started she took me the wrong way. And anyway, I saw her and some of her friends. I may be misremembering it a little bit. It might have been him who ran me out.
Pretty spot on.
I saw her at the park, and she came up and gave me like a forced hug, because we were very close in the past, but she came up and you could tell it was forced. And this realization came to me. I paused. I didn't say anything. I wanted to, I knew I felt uncomfortable, but I was working on me. And so I paused. And this realization came up. Being alone is better than being with people who don't value you. And I saw she did not value me anymore. She had no respect for me. So I didn't want to be around her. But becoming honest with myself about that, not being so damned needy for approval, that, I mean, when I walked away, it wasn't real, it was kind of awkward. I wasn't smooth or polite, you know, I was a little rude maybe, but I learned. And I tell you what, in my time alone, now I can go anywhere. They don't have to value me where I go.
Good. Now you get it. But
I'm
Jack,
thrilled.
before we move off from it, that's what I appreciate about Jordan Peterson is we've watched him be wrong, come correct, restance, and that's legit. It's like he'd be unreal if he just started out right and was always right and has never been wrong. It's like we can relate to him now that he's dealt with addiction when his wife was dying and all the things. And that's, any of us are free to eventually change up our stance.
You know, thank you for that, Tommy. I think Jordan Peterson, he's been a wonderful example of people standing up publicly, courageously for what he knows in his heart. And when he first started standing up against the language change in the Canadian government, when I heard his position on the importance and the psychological necessity of freedom to express, the freedom of speech, when I heard his words, I was like, he needs to be heard at the UN. These state leaders don't understand what they're doing by limiting oppression and all of this.
Oh, they do.
Well,
that's why I say they're not your friends, and I wouldn't go to them to change their system.
Well,
you just want to start that change wherever you are.
Here's the thing. I want to actually, this ties into an earlier comment. There is no system. The idea that there is one is this distraction. Things are not always as they seem, and this is true. But here's the other part. The other part is we cannot change anything unless we accept it into ourselves as though we're a part of it. By my hand and my oaths, I have been a part of America my whole damn adult life. And I am a part of this. I've been a part of the problem. I know that I am intended. We are all intended to become a part of the solution.
Well, and let me do one of these insert statements. I like Nude Guru. I like Dominic. I like Nude Guru's alternate account, but those guys are the opposite swing of the pendulum, where they're two in the ether. Like they'll take anything we say and be like, "Oh, what if DOG really spelled cat, man?" It's like irrelevant. Like we have to stand on some hardline things at some point.
Tom, I won't disagree, and I won't try to change what you said, but let me jump to what Jeep's offered here. True truth tellers are not going to be pushed in the algorithm or gain hundreds of thousands of subs. It's so obvious. Yes, there are challenges against us, but I know for a fact that through cooperation, we can create the right connections, the right relationships. What do we need a mass of people for? We need the numbers to get attention to what our demands are. I've been leading, dude, God created me for this, man. I'm here to lead
Uh,
a movement. Join.
well, hold on, no. Like, Jeeps is a daughter of her daddy. She's kind of brainwashed in the cult. There are plenty of truth tellers out there climbing the views and ranks of YouTube. It's just this panel verse back alley shitstorm of the tower that is YouTube.
I'm
Like, Paul is not shadow banned. He's just garbage. Like, panels are not compatible with what YouTube wants to push and escalate. But Days of Noah's a truth teller. He's doing fine. There's a lot of truth teller channels that are climbing the ranks doing just fine. So if Tarek's still listening, that could kind of add to my answer to Tarek, is like, there's a lot of subtleties and devils in the details of the amass of BS that comes out of that cult.
Hey, let me address a couple of things here. Jeep's absolutely right. The truth is the enemy of the state. So, right now, the only reason the state has power is because a lot of people enable it. They pretend, they go along to get along, including those employed by the state. So, let's speak to the employees of the state of America, the corporation or the state, whatever. They can communicate. They can be the intermediaries to the shareholders, the damn Federal Reserve nonsense. The truth shall set us free. Do we want to protect the state? Do we want to keep making excuses? Or do we want, you know what, praise God. God will choose the results, but it's up to us to choose what we choose the direction, we choose the efforts, we choose what we do each day, with each day, and God chooses the results. I want to bring the truth to the light. I believe there is already a movement happening. There's people rising up all around the world, all across America. You know, while we're spending time doing this, there's others out there actively protesting and creating interruptions in the commerce and stuff. Why? Because there's wars going on.
Work with. Like, protesting is the biggest waste of time, to go out and stand with a sign.
Tom, there's a place for it and there's a purpose for it. So what I see it as, it's something that me as a spokesman, me or we can use as spokespeople to point at and say, for the people employed in governance, hey, hello, there's evidence, there's unrest out there. That means there is a problem with the leadership in here. Where is the breakdown in communication? Oh yeah, it's in the shareholders and the workers.
Actually, that's the big protest right now. Like, when I came into this community 2 years ago, 2+ years ago, I was telling the unslaved cult, hey, for the price of a pack of cigarettes, you guys could get down on the actual burning down of the market and the market maker system, which is kind of what we're doing now. It's all coming to fruition now. If you've been following
here's what I encourage everyone to do, regardless of what everyone else is doing. What are you doing? What are we doing?
Can I pop in for a second?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of mentioned it a few times. Does anybody see the sky? The return of Yahuwah and the sky. Like, I'd like to stay on the whole chat, but sunset is happening, and I have to take all the last of my gas and whatever I can to get to a hill, and it's probably a pyramid. It's a Shawnee Hill. It's called Alms Park, and it's probably an ancient pyramid. And I get there and I get the sunset. Like, I haven't heard anybody talk about this during this whole video. But the cool thing about Jack Talcott is that he understands that something is coming back to help heal this world. And they're trying to hide us from it. And Tom and everybody else here, like, I love everything that you're all saying. You know, and my ego and my pride, I'd love to sit here and have my pretty shirt on and maybe play music. But I'll I'll leave you all because you're my friends and you're my family. And I'll stop and I'll be like, Jack, I gotta go. I gotta go to the hill and be a man in the rain, a fool in the rain. Or, you know, like out there with my umbrella, but my glasses too. I mean, my goodness, last night I got home from work, a 10-hour shift in a restaurant, and I was going to take a shower and I had my glasses on because the simulator is out there cooking all of our eyes. You know, Tom, and everybody, like, you've been discussing how our minds are kind of wandering and stuff. And where's the focus? Half the world right now is burning and the other half is underwater. But that sky, that hill, that focus is what Jack is helping me to find again. See, and that's why I really enjoy hearing all of you speak, because I am that turmoil. I can't stop enough to fucking fight the world or fight myself. But I still get to that hill. Let me turn this fan off. It's in my
Well,
background.
you keep fighting that good fight, Seven. You keep doing your sky thing, and when it comes together, it'll come together. Like, it's like I told Venus, and like Venus, you're watching a lot of channels, you're keeping a lot of stuff on record that it'll matter when it matters. And I do watch the sky. I watch the sky every day. I tell God, if he doesn't want me on his hands to deal with, then he better do whatever he needs to do to keep me from being on his hands to deal with.
Yeah, I really like what Tommy just said, because he was like, you know, he was saying that that look, like, we're compiling these things and we actually don't know why we're doing it, and you know, at the right moment it'll actually just all make sense. And I've actually found that many times in life that I've went on a mission to compile some information. You know, one of my first philosophy teachers, you know, this one kid you know, was questioning him, and he said, you know, a dung beetle is more beautiful than you. And he said, what? A dung beetle? And he said, I'll squash a dung beetle. I don't give a fuck about a dung beetle. And he said, well, a dung beetle knows what its purpose is. It knows what it's doing. It knows what it was made for.
Well,
And
not
then
just that. Not
yeah,
just that.
you know, he's yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt because I want
No,
you to
go
keep
ahead.
going.
No, go ahead. I was done. Yeah.
Well, don't be done, because it's interesting that dung beetles, or beetles, the scarab beetle from ancient Egypt is back. I find them. You see what I'm saying? I mean, we think that bugs are to be squashed,
Right.
but if we pay attention, there's scarabs coming back from the ancient world all over America, and people like us, we don't squash them. We notice. That's why I'll be in the I'm in this, and we're all digging it, but I'll have to be like, I gotta go to the hill. I gotta go watch the sky. Egypt is coming back, y'all. Like, the ancient world is coming back, and it's doing it in us. You know, like oh my gosh, when I spoke to Jack earlier, he's like, Seven, I know you get the sky. I know that you know about pyramids. We all know you're mixed and funny and shit, but the calm and peace of the scarab beetle is what we all need right now. So I love that you brought that up.
Yep. Yeah.
Do you know the top of our skulls look like dung beetles?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking roll around in elephant shit and save the world, because they do. Dung, and I'm not talking about dung beetles. I'm talking about the scarab. They've been in America. I'm telling you. You'll look up and you will see a scarab beetle. What the fuck? Come on, man. That's what Jack is trying to help us focus on, is we ain't got to fight each other. We ain't got to wonder about the wonders that we are.
We just got to accept what is, and what we are will be revealed. Hank, thank you for the contribution. I will name my next Rayquaza 7. I don't know what a Rayquaza is.
What? I'm going to write that down. What?
I think it was a joke. Yes, it said Rayquaza. Here, there it is.
That reminded me of something I wanted to share with you, Jack. The way I've always talked about this panel verse is more spiritual warfare than people realize. A channel I've referenced many times on my channel, King Justice. He's a Christian rapper. He had like 40K subs, and he's finally hanging it up because YouTube's just gotten to him too much. The narcs, the sociopaths, the constant attacking of creators, much less Christian creators. He's a pretty good rapper, pretty successful YouTuber, and he's just hanging it up. He made an announcement today.
Well, I'd love to talk with anyone who's willing to give me a chance and help me grow. But I don't know what
that's like what I used to tell on Slavia in the first season, is value is to be found by the perceiver. So if people are going to help you grow and help you learn, then you have to get that out of them, whether they intend it or not.
True. I think that's true. There was something else said too, but here we got another guest. Welcome, Based Oracle. Good to see you, brother.
Hey. How's it going?
Yo, it's good.
What up, Machine?
Damn, there was something that was said I was trying to get back to, and see, ideas, they come in and out of our heads all day long. And how many ideas do we get so attached to?
Can I say something about that?
Please.
Jack? Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, this is cool. It's called the convergence. It's the black goo. I'm not going to call it the God of this world, because I think it's watching, but it's using our consciousness. It's watching everything. I've been talking about it since October 4th of last year. All right. I was in the astral plane, and an essence told me to prepare a lentil. I was like, what's a lentil? And then I knew that it was reference to Passover in Egypt. And like, there's a consciousness watching us right now, a technology that is here. And it's fucked up because YouTube makes it sound like, the quantum mind and all that's, I won't even say it. It's new, and Elon Musk made it. Shit. It was in the Pentagon in 1969, secured a quantum consciousness. All right. A literal wiping of every consciousness all the time. It's happening all over. Why do you think we all sit here and wonder why the world is asleep? It was it was a baby fucking quantum Elon shit in the Pentagon in 1969. And it was secured there.
What do you suggest we do now? 7.
Well,
what do you suggest we do now?
I suggest how awesome it is that we're talking about this, and that your other guest mentioned what's wiping our minds. And I'm going to sit here and shut up and sharpen my sword.
Yeah, let me swat down that comment on the screen. A species that competes against itself is doomed. False. That's how we've improved products, services. Our own performance has improved by competition.
At what expense? I can present the case that the competition has retarded the evolution of mankind.
No, because it's like that joke I've ripped ever since I moved out to the Midwest. Like the East Coast is known for cloudier skies and bigger attitudes and harder people. But my drive-through order was always correct on the East Coast. And I would say out here in the Midwest where it's all laid back and chill, man, I would conject that probably more often my order for any restaurant is wrong more often than it's correct.
Hey,
Because
who's the
everything's so
dude?
laid back.
Wait, who's the dude? He's right there with the hat and a mic, and he's waiting to talk. Who's the guy that was talking about what's happening in our minds? And I interrupted him. Shit.
You're right, Seven, but you need to work. I think you're missing some sky if you really had to head out when you said you had to head out. I don't know your schedule. I don't know how it works.
No,
I don't want
it's
to
the dude.
distract you
It's the
from
dude
the
with the
call.
microphone with the red beard. He wants to talk. It's that
With the
cat
red
right there.
beard?
Well,
I don't have
I
a red beard.
No,
Yeah,
thank
that
you.
dude probably can't grow a beard. To
No,
save
I
his
didn't
life.
mean that. You're fucking cool,
Tommy,
man.
shut the fuck up, Tommy.
Mm.
Yeah, anyways, what seven was talking about, I think, relates to something I talk about, which is most people are very drugged up, right? The drugs of social media, alcohol, I mean it goes on and on and on. And this buffer is essentially keeping them from reality. So attempting to operate within reality while also being outside of reality and thinking outside of reality is a big problem.
I don't know what that means.
Hey, what's
It's
your
a
name?
challenge.
I gotta write your name down. Who the fuck are you? You're the smartest person. Dude.
No, don't give him too much credit. You'll.
No,
How is this?
please.
How is
No,
it
don't,
not
no,
reality?
no, please. Fucking don't do this. I need to know who this guy is.
His name's
Okay.
Based Oracle. He's very anticlimactic. You'll get over it, Seven.
Hey, Based, if you want to share your link, please do. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or
I
any
need
of
it.
them.
I mean, if
and-
you want a channel half as exciting as Jack's, yes, go to Based Oracle. If Jack's
Well, thank
channel
you
is
for
a
the
little too much
endorsement.
of a roller coaster ride for your emotions, you might want to try Based Oracle.
Well, let's let him talk.
Okay, but you'll be sorry.
Yeah. Anyways, so I think the first step is the individual taking accountability and implementing discipline in order to get off of these drugs. And I'm not suggesting that anyone can or should be completely drug-free, right? Obviously, part of drug intake is just the happenstance of living in 2024. But the level that people are drugged up to, I'll put it like this. I think most people are fucking retarded. I mean, that's how I would put it. And it's due to the drugs. It's not due to that they're naturally slow or anything like that.
No, nah. Hold on, man.
Hey, I said I can present the case that proves the competition in society has retarded people. There you go. It's the evidence is clear. People are insane and it's been normalized.
Well, let's have that debate one day, Jack. But I wanted to ask Based Oracle, whenever you say the plethora of drugs, are you pretty much just referring to anything that creates dopamine?
Yeah, I mean, it can be dopamine production. I don't know if it always necessarily is.
Well, that's
okay,
all drugs
speak?
and activities are to make your brain release dopamine, basically.
Guys,
so that's
can
why
I say
asked it that
something?
way.
Can I say something, please? There was somebody who was commenting on time, spatiality, everything happening, and they left. And now it's turned into a fucking AA meeting. I'm gonna go catch this guy. Peace out, y'all. I mean, addictions, pain.
Hey, seven, take whatever you want and
Well, it's
go
cool.
enjoy the sunset.
No, I did that. I'm cool. I'm
Great. Blessings. Thank you for joining. Sincerely, I appreciate it.
yeah. I mean, this, like like you're all frontliners. You know, I think that people like us actually have DNA from Agartha and Lemuria, the time before time, the time before the flood. People like us have existent DNA, and we're sitting here, like I really do like that, the guy with the hat with the big microphone. You're right. Addictions, pain, attachment to the world and yesterday. You're right. And that's what Jack is helping me get over. But I got to get to that sky tonight. See what I'm saying?
Jack Talcott saved his life.
Well, he didn't save my life, but he saved my sky. So
Good.
Well, how do you know Jack's not the one spraying this guy?
well, I think that Jack is trying to spray love. And I think that
Gross.
like I didn't mean it that way. And dude with the hat, I do want to listen to you, but fuck, I'm in the midst of the turmoil of a family torn apart by addiction and narcissism, and nobody gets to the hill. Nobody watches the sky, much less documents it. So I think Well,
then you're going to have to be the change that you want to see. And
Oh my
at least
God.
by
Well, I don't have
happenstance,
do you know my
will
channel?
affect them.
Have you ever watched my channel? Have you ever seen what I give to get to a hill to capture the three suns? Every morning, every night, every day, I spend everything I have to capture the Nibiru system. I give everything I have to show the returning of Yahuwah, not Jesus, because that is a twisted thing, and I'm not going to get into that. But, bruh, you're right. I'm cool, because you're right.
But
You know?
can I say something real quick? Because it really sounds like you're addicted to it. If you don't mind my
No,
saying.
it's cool. I'm out. Sorry, you guys. I should never have come here in the first place.
No, you're fine, Seven. You're just a panel doomer. You'll be all right.
Well, somebody
Like
just
every
went off on me.
downturn in a panel,
I
he
didn't
thinks
go
it's
off
just
on you.
catastrophic.
I didn't go off on you. I just rebutted what you said in as relations to, well, now we're getting on to addiction. And I think Based Oracle is absolutely right. It comes down to accountability. And if you have an accountability, then you dedicate yourself to that accountability. And dedication is just a different way of saying
How many of you
addiction.
dedicate yourself? Wow. Fucking wow. How many of you go see the three suns? Fuck this, man. I'm out.
I've never seen three sons. I don't even know what you're talking about.
I'm sure
I
you don't.
actually had 3 brothers and a sister, making me the 4th son.
God, I can't even leave this thing. Holy shit.
It's hard.
It's
Jack
not
will
about
kick
the
you out.
world and
I mean,
I'm gonna help you out,
Seven's a
Seven.
good dude. I don't think people
Very good
should.
dude. I love Seven.
Yeah, I mean, we all have our times of weakness and stuff, and the dude's going through some stuff. I'm going through some stuff. We're all going through some stuff. That's why I don't think trigonometry is a valid strategy in this day and age. We got enough trigonometry in our own lives.
The key is to overcome those triggers, and that's where the topic. Practicing pause. All we have to do, really, all we have to do is to remember to pause. If we can remember to pause, then we can stop in the moment, become present, go to the heart, try to understand what is happening, why am I feeling these reactions, what's going on.
And then honk, go! It's green, asshole! Why are you pausing?
Well, hey, sometimes in life we've got to move. Sometimes, well, what I want to encourage anyone tuning in to really become aware. Try to practice becoming more calm. Wherever you go, whatever's going on, practice becoming more calm. Because faith is a gift we can only deny ourselves. Trust is a gift we can only deny ourselves. Trust in
I
the
don't need
present.
If you have truth, you don't need trust.
Agree? It's best to know. Trust what you know. Learn the difference between what you believe and what you know.
Oh,
And
I'm the
realize,
instructor on that. Yeah. Sorry, Flatties. Globe.
realize the only time we can know anything is in the present. So choose what you focus your mind on. Choose which thoughts are taking up your time and your life force energy, because your life force can be wasted in anger and sadness, and you can find all sorts of excuses to feel bad and afraid and angry. But self-love is truly important.
So
Yeah,
can
but
I
I
ask
want to
you,
be
Jack,
sad sometimes.
how does one self-love from your purview?
God, you
Surrender.
can't do it on camera, if you know what I mean.
No, actually, it's surrender. Surrender to who you are. Accept yourself. The first way to love is to accept. If we're denying who we were or who we are, we're not accepting. And what I found, there's no denying who we are. There's no denying what is the truth.
So you
You
think
want me
that
to
it's
try and
all a mental aspect then? Mental, spiritual? You don't think there's a physical component to loving yourself?
that's the
Well,
thing you can't do
yes.
on camera.
Actually, I love that, because I think the physical is a result of the mental and spiritual. And
Sure.
so if we can align our mind and heart to unify ourselves into the moment, into the present, and accept ourselves for who we are, and then from there, starting to grow a practice of gratitude, staying curious. When I was in addiction, I was imagining I was lost in my mind. To escape my mind, which I thought was the world, I turned to booze, the chemicals. And I think there's a lot of the world today, they're good-hearted people, but they're like I was, just absolutely nuts.
Oh, you still are.
Praise God. We're
But
all a
that's
little nuts, but that's the
what I want you
game.
to watch for, Jack. You have a challenge that not all of us have as hosts. I've been watching them for a while. You have people in your chat that come here and support you every day, nefariously, to keep you encouraged to go down the thought process I would suggest you not lean into, that I would suggest you like work around. And I watch some of these people come to your chat and give you all this credit and support as their next level of trolling. Like, I know that they're not stupid people, and I see how they are on other panels, and that's how I can tell they come here to say all the things that encourage you or downplay a person that might argue against you. And that's going to be your test to see it for yourself.
Okay, Tom.
It's kind of like Paul has the test of he's in the Tom Cruise position where no one's going to tell him no.
Okay, well, Tom, here's something. What I heard you saying, you're not willing to accept that people are genuinely supporting me.
No, you have genuine supporters, but you also have Judas supporters.
Okay, well, you know what? I trust there's a divine purpose for every single one of us. And every one of us who are gathered here, I mean, there's like 8 billion people in the world, and there's not a lot gathered here at this time.
I know, and that's fine. That's why I want everybody to get off these number talks and fame delusions. We're just panels. We're just Zoom calls.
We're just thoughts within the incredible imagination of our creator. We're just thoughts, experiencing an experience.
Yeah. Hey, you want me to create an agreement? You want me to seek an agreement, Jack?
Can we? May we?
Well, not me. Hey, Base Oracle. You globy, bro?
Hmm?
Are you a globy?
I don't know.
I can't hear him.
I can respect that.
I don't know. I don't know what that means, Tommy.
Do you subscribe to the globe Earth shape?
You mean as opposed to flat?
Yeah. Well, I now say globe resisting, globe rejecting, because it is globe. But just trying
Yeah,
to find
so-
an agreement.
Yeah, so my answer on that is I don't give a shit. I don't care if it's flat or round. I don't care. Doesn't impact me whatsoever.
All right, I couldn't find an agreement, Jack. I'm sorry.
It's you can agree. Well, you don't have to disagree. I know you're confident in your view and your position, and
No, I'm sure of it.
I lean to the globe and infinite space, but I'm more so the experience of consciousness, and that it could actually be just like the particle and wave. It could be round and flat. I don't know.
No,
God is
globe.
perfect.
No,
It is what it is. It doesn't matter until it becomes, relevant in our choices and
well,
how.
it matters because these people say they speak truth, and then they say it's flat. So that's
Well,
a contradiction.
I don't fault dude. Growing up, I traveled around America. I went to a lot of different public schools.
Around, right? Yeah,
I
you traveled
saw-
around.
Yeah, I saw how people believed all sorts of crazy shit, man.
I
I
don't
know
believe
that
it.
when I was a kid.
But
People
this
can,
is what they don't get. There's a difference between knowing and believing.
yes,
I know we're on a globe.
Tom. Okay, wonderful. Here's what I know will clear it. All of us can understand facts when we have access to the facts, and we can have someone help, navigate explanations. If we have disclosure, full disclosure from the deep state and the shadow government and the corporate corruption, if we have disclosure, we will know the shape.
No, we already do. You just need two eyes and a stance on this globe.
Okay, well, let's help everyone.
We don't have to beat it to death, but I was just trying to find an agreement with Based Oracle, who doesn't seem so based now.
Tommy, let me propose another thing that we might be able to agree on. We're all here today. By the grace of something greater, we are all
Maybe
here.
me and Based Oracle agree that was gay.
Can you both agree that was a little gay?
Oh, yes, I agree. We're all here, and wherever we go, there we are. Thank you, Kamala Harris.
Well, that's kind of the key, though, Tommy. The key to a happy life is to be grateful. Be grateful for the present.
So my question, Tommy, why do we need to have an agreement? Why do we need to force an agreement?
Because it's one of Jack's things. He doesn't like to create disagreements. And I know we've been oppositional lately, so I was just wanted Jack to see us have an agreement.
No, that's fair. And in all fairness, it's just because you're kind of dumb.
No,
but
I'm not.
But leaving that alone, I'm sure we do agree on many things.
I believe you
Well,
do.
then I would hope that I'm not dumb, because that would make you dumb to agree on one thing.
Well, Tom,
Your logic is flawed.
How's that?
For us to agree on many things doesn't mean that we have the same level of intelligence or anything else.
Good. Then you'll understand when you see I'm much superior to you.
Yeah, you're much superior.
I'll let you come up next time. I didn't let you come up last time. I'll let you come up next time.
All right.
This
I forget what was going on. I didn't let you come up.
This is one of those conversation-based Oracle. I wanna let you know. I tell people a man's intellect is limited and biased by his vocabulary. Tommy does a great job at that.
That doesn't make sense, because I've only wrecked you, and you were scared to come up on my panel to hear about that.
Scared?
Like,
I'd be embarrassed.
nothing you've tried to sell to these panels for the past 2 years has been legit.
Sell? Legit? See, everything I do, I give sources.
Right, and everything you do, even snafu, is exploited and called out.
Hey,
Oh,
Tom.
like you, and that's why I still sit here, huh? Okay.
No, and your delusion that whenever we say people get wrecked means they are banished from YouTube.
You mean like maybe even Flow State and everybody else's delusion? Even Jack agrees that I committed.
Nobody thinks
Even
that
Jack
but
agrees
you.
that I commit.
No,
that I
nobody.
commit. See, now
Nobody
you're not going to
thinks
let
what
me
you're
state it. Now you're not going to
saying
let
but
me state
you.
it, huh? See, everybody wants to sit there and say I committed postal fraud, mail fraud with homemade stamps.
No, that's your daddy.
If anybody
putting
makes
words.
that claim, don't you think it would be the postal service that let it go
No.
through their system?
Nobody says you committed postal fraud. We say
Oh,
you're a
yeah.
senile old coot.
All
There's
right.
a
Hey,
difference. There's a difference between
Tom,
saying your thing about stamps is bullshit and saying you committed fraud.
Tom, I love you, brother. I appreciate that you tried to find agreement, especially with me here today. I have a feeling we're going to keep growing and we're going to keep understanding each other more. And I have great, great hopes, anticipation, and faith for what might be in our future. I was just about to wrap up, Hank, but I was going to recommend.
I think
Let's flow.
I agree
Okay.
with what you're saying. We need to get to that place, but you seem like every time you get a little muscle strain at the gym, you want to quit for the day. And like what me and Wizard were just doing, yeah, it's painful, but it's required for getting to where you want to go.
No,
I'm not sure about that.
thank you, Hank. Where I'm trying to go, honestly, actually, I probably will wrap up this pretty soon because I do think I may return later with some practices and maybe some. I might try my first guided meditation. That's where I'm heading. And
I'm doing something too. I'm gonna finish my opening statement for the debate I'm having tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time.
Cross promote.
With who, Hank?
Is it on your channel?
I'm debating DB, who is a Monday debate Discord server stage moderator. But they're going to have another moderator to moderate the debate, so I'm not going against someone abusing their mod powers like I'm calling an atheist talk show host or something.
Is it going to be on Discord or YouTube?
I'm going to push it on YouTube. I'm going to restream the Discord so you can go to my channel to watch the debate.
And you know, Hank, after I wreck you a few more times, if you ever need an unbiased mediator for a debate in YouTube, you can bring them to my house.
You don't know. You've never been on them. To my knowledge, you never done a moderate debate before. So I have more experience than you do already.
No, I don't mean like
a moderate debate before.
I don't mean in your classic debate moderation. I mean to keep the debate going, to not get hung up on the things.
Okay. Well, I have more experience than you do.
Yeah, but you can't be debating and moderating at the same time.
Well, you think you can do it.
No, I'm saying I wouldn't be in the debate if you need a place to debate.
Oh, okay. Because you always go on about, you need to come to my house. Come to my house. So you think you
Well,
can
that's
do it.
because I've had 2 years of people suppressing my side of things. So I wanted to make a place where any YouTuber that doesn't have a channel could still go get their piece said.
Yeah, because YouTube channels are so expensive these days.
No,
Well, I'll
it's not everybody
definitely,
has the intention to host.
Well, I'll definitely be there, Hank, and yeah, I'm gonna check it out, and wait till this guy shows up. I may be restreaming over there, but I'll definitely be in the chat too. You know what I mean? But yeah,
Excellent.
I can't wait.
Yep.
Hey, did trad culture like drop the whole women are queen superior bit? Like ever since he's come back, I don't hear the women should do everything.
He's got something about anthropological research which suggests mating customs for primitive societies. So that's basically his specialty. So yeah, he's got some things on that, you know. So he talks in a very pointed way about that type of stuff. So he's talking about
Oh, I blew
our
him out of the
modern
water that
society.
time. That time we lost the show to Flow State, and it happened over there instead of your show. Oh, I blew him out of the water that day, and I haven't heard much about the all whammon or superior anymore.
Oh, I didn't. I must have missed that one, but yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, that will function my closing statement. See you later. Probably either today or really early tomorrow to finish my opening statement. Then I'll see you on the debate.
Blessings. Thank you for joining, Hank.
Hey,
And
Hank. Hank,
I look forward to joining.
Yes, Tommy.
do you remember what stream it was that you and I talked about free will? Because I thought it was the Bathtub Boys, and it's not.
Yes,
on that
it's the Bathtub Boys one, and also you came on
Are
my
you sure it
stream
wasn't the Sunday?
slaves at free will.
Are you sure it wasn't the Bloody Sunday one? I haven't checked that one yet. But Bathtub
It's
Boys,
probably
you didn't even
definitely
show up on the
Bathtub Boys
Bathtub.
one, but you came on one of the 6 hour stream I had, and you said slaves have free will.
Well, I still stand by we have free will, but I'm trying to find that section you think I deleted. I wanted to post it for you.
Okay, but when you came on the 6 hour stream I just did this week, you said slaves have free will.
They do. That's why they're slaves.
Okay, see you later.
Later.
Blessings, Hank.
A slave and a master are cooperating. It's required.
It is. Here we've got another guest.
Hi, how are you? How are you, Jake? Jake, I missed you on Facebook. I texted you. Thanks. Thanks for accepting my friend request.
Of course, Noelle. Welcome again. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you too. What are we talking about now? I'm sorry.
Oh,
What are we talking about?
here. We've covered a number of different topics today. Honestly, the main idea was to practice pause, and I don't know if I even really got much into that, but we've talked about a lot.
I ain't never finished a movie hitting that pause button.
Really trying to open up his office.
And who is this other guy I'm looking at in the beard?
Your life. But a movie isn't your life.
In the beard.
That's based Oracle. Another.
Oh,
another guest.
I know him. He's on that girl's channel. God, that girl's channel.
Well,
Maybe.
he's a guy. But
Not right now, though.
What the?
Hey,
What the?
Noelle?
Bitch.
Is that you that's got the noise in the background?
Sorry.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. It's a little bit loud where you're at, Noelle. So where do we go from here?
Your show?
Jake, can I stay on here, please, and listen?
Yes, ma'am. You certainly can. Go. What were you saying?
First female in history that's ever said, "Can I just sit and listen?"
See, we agree on that, Tommy.
Yeah, I figured we would.
So on topic with pause, practicing pause. You know, that's one of the issues between you and I, Jack, is that angry old man thing. And in case you didn't notice, I'm sure everybody's really noticed. I've been taking pause from you, and I come in once in a while to put a positive message out. So that's what we're talking about. And that's the same thing Based Oracle is talking about, is that self-accountability. Quit being addicted to the stupid shit, all the drama and everything, because that's truly what you're addicted to. You're addicted to all the fictional shit instead of taking accountability for yourself and being real men and women. And
Well,
with that,
taking accountability and spiritual warfare can appear like drama to the uneducated
yeah, if
eye.
you want it to be drama, I don't know that I've ever seen based Oracle in any drama.
No,
Well,
I think what you might
You know
think
what
is
I'm saying?
drama sometimes is actual real stuff going down.
Well, maybe we could say superfluous drama, right? That which is unnecessary.
Correct.
And, you know, to the overarching point, Jack, I would say
There's
this that maybe ties
in
into
here,
all of it.
Jake, there's a cop in here. Is he a real cop?
Wonder what's it gonna take.
Oh my
No,
gosh.
he's not a real cop.
No,
He's a real flop.
Listen,
he's
if all y'all could stop interrupting what Mitch is trying to accomplish, he's at City Hall right now with a fine-ass officer right in front of him. He needs to focus on getting this woman's number and work his way in to the system. Okay? We need to back Mitch right now. This is a crucial time.
No, he's been to City Hall a number of times. He's also told a cop he let him find out where the cop's wife and daughter hang out. I don't subscribe to that stuff.
Listen, I'm just trying to get this chick's number, dude. She's hot.
You're not in that game, bro. If a chick's hot, you might as well not bother.
Yeah. So, anyways, along with the pausing, Jack, is, you know, knowing when to hit the brakes and when to hit the gas. And I think, let's say half of it, not that it's exactly half, but half coming from experience, and the other half what we do with it. And that's where I think the drug usage comes in, is it distorts the reality, the perception, the cognition of people to have that awareness, which starts with self, right? So having the discipline to kind of detox, if you will, can be very beneficial on the individual level and then spread out to the family and thereafter society.
Jake, why is there a cop in here? I'm scared.
Is that Jake from State Farm?
I'm not on you. I'm not on you. Don't worry. I have another agenda here today. Don't worry.
Hey, Oracle, what you just said, for those who listen, that is the absolute truth. What I see the society today with the addiction problem and the poverty. Those are symptoms of a broken society, and the patterns of addiction, we pick those up. What you're describing, dude, when I was in my habits of drinking, my mind was so unclear, and it took me to detox, to start purifying myself. And actually, in doing that, I started showing self-love, self-care.
Yeah.
And what's your excuse now, Jack?
I'm still growing and improving.
Because I had a roommate in college that he had a drinking thing, and to show him love, like it wasn't me, but one of our friends that was driving him one night, he grabbed the wheel and started like trying to wreck the car when he was blackout drunk. And this guy literally had to pull over and like pull my roommate out of the car and like assault him out of love before he got them both killed. And then he forgot he got taken to the emergency room until the bill came. And then when the bill came, oh my God, I forgot on that blackout night I was even in the emergency room swinging on people. So what we call love isn't always this, hey man, kumbaya. Sometimes out of love, you got to punch your friend in the face and carry him home.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tough love is love. Yeah.
It is. Although, hey, back to the idea of purification. We live in a toxic world. And if we can accept that fact, then we can change it. And the change in the world, what Oracle said again, it starts with the individual. And that individual, through healing ourselves, we will help heal those around us. The key, though, is sometimes to heal, we need to break away from those around us.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to cut off the cancer at times, right?
Yeah.
As painful as that may be for you and the people around you, it may be necessary in terms of even what Tommy was saying, tough love.
Yeah, New Guru, you're just a contrarian, man. Sometimes tough love does require violence.
See, I disagree. I mean, violence might be perceived, and
I
love
think it's-
is tough, but it doesn't.
I
have
think
to
I
be.
think our society perceives violence as this end all horrible wrong when you live in a kinetic reality of sometimes force is needed to push back equal force.
Well, right. Hate has been used as a force against hate. And I suggest the future for mankind, we start incorporating the force of love.
You
Love
can
into
enact
our words.
violence without hate. I
Yes.
actually excel
Okay.
at violence when I'm not being hateful with it.
Okay. I won't disagree. You're right. There are times for, well, perhaps, you know what? God moves us all, and there's a perfection to everything. What each of us has the opportunity and the responsibility to realize. It matters what we do now, and it's always now. So let's do and be ourselves. Let's be ourselves, but in the most loving and the most peaceful way that we've learned how, and then we can grow.
So that's part of the
That's
challenge
true,
to life,
Jake.
is the times that define who you are, the times that you have to make a decision or a move that will define who you are, is split up by lots and lots of monotonous nothing time. Like when Machine Lies was saying, make moments out of your minutes or whatever. That's a thing, but also you can't escape the long, dismal TikTok of your life for the most part. And that's what breaks up these moments that will define who you are.
Here, Tom, it's life becomes long and dismal when we're bored, when we think we've learned enough. But if we
Maybe I shouldn't have used those words, but
Tom, I want to bring in some of the scripture, and you and Wizard can correct me if I'm wrong, but the path is to be a child of God. And how does a child act? A child is innocent, it's curious, it allows itself to get lost in whatever it's doing. We can return to that state of being. The world wants us to believe we've got to be tough and fight.
Well, and
Please.
I'll do you one even better in that he who does what the law says without knowing the law is a law unto himself. He's already in alignment with the law without even having to know it. What do you think a child is?
What the law says
what do you think a child is?
That's beautiful. You're right.
No, if you don't know the law, how are you doing it to be within the law?
Tom,
a child always goes to a greater source.
It's natural for us to follow the law. The world has taught us through patterns of obedience and misinformation. The world taught us wrong. Every one of us every day has the opportunity to renew ourselves. What's that?
How has the world taught us wrong?
In many different ways. Number one being,
are you a United States citizen, Thomas?
Here's the biggest thing I noticed that's wrong with our society. Children were taught to obey rather than abide.
Children
See, one who abides thinks for themselves.
Your God tells children to obey.
I realize that. That's part of this amazing game God has created.
Do you know what happens when a child doesn't obey?
Tom?
They become Paul and slave.
Well, amen. There are, in the design of us, of our biology, there are consequences to lying. To lying, and I can explain. I've found a lot of patterns, not only in myself but the world around me, There's consequences that are designed within us when we can sin. We can know evil. We can live evil. It's our choice. There's consequences. And we don't always see them immediately. But this realm we exist in, there's a perfection to the order. I trust in that.
Can I bust out another new guru chat? The one that says obedience is the root of all evil. Yeah, just everybody driving in the right lane is just the root of all evil. Just that order of function is the root of all evil. To obey that. Oh my God, to stop at a red light is the root of all evil.
No, the one who knows
Here.
the law without, or does the law without knowing the law, is simply following reason and logic. If everybody else is driving on the right side of the road, I maybe should drive on the right side of the road too.
Base, were you trying
So
to
if everybody drove off a cliff, would you drive off a cliff?
Yeah, I was gonna ask Jack, do you think that this kind of overlaps, maybe I'll say, with the idea that I understand from the Christian purview that, if I'm correct, that God said the Bible is written on everyone's hearts, meaning that we intuitively do know right and wrong?
Absolutely. That's what I've learned to trust, is that what is right or wrong, the answer may not be immediately accessible, but the answer is written in our hearts. And we as people, we learn best through reflecting. We learn from the past, but what the society taught us to do was to hold on to the past. And as long as we're focusing on the past, we're not imagining and creating the future that we want.
Yeah. A lot of people live in the past or live in the future rather than living in the present. And when I say a lot of people, I've done this myself, and it doesn't work very well.
It's the pattern.
That's what I'm telling Jack. Whenever Jack says he doesn't know what the future holds, well, I do, because that's how the one true God showed himself, was to tell you the future in his word.
Yep. The world will soon know peace with the return of the love. Jesus demonstrated. He was the symbol of love that came from our God. And the message from God spoken through Jesus, as I understand, is you have been forgiven. Practice forgiveness with yourself and others, and the world becomes much more peaceful.
Well, that love is coming back on a white horse with a flaming sword and an army. So
we are that army, Tommy.
No, we're
we
not.
are that army. We are
Wow.
already in the clouds right now, serving.
Nah, that's
the
new age
truth,
bullshit.
serving God. That's what I feel I'm doing.
Boys, we're in the old age. We don't advance here.
No, Jack talks a lot of new age spirituality that doesn't.
The war in the clouds. Where do you think we
It
are?
doesn't
What are you
align
engaged in
with
right now?
the
Are you not engaged
Christianity.
in the war in the clouds right now?
Mm-hmm.
Is that not what we're doing?
No, I
Is this
think
not the
Seven's
spiritual war in
got
the
that
clouds?
covered.
He's not going to get it.
Are you taking up for truth or flop, really? Oh wait, it's with it.
It's called the cloud.
Here, it's conceptual. I mean, the Bible is full of wisdom. It's intended for inspiration, for guidance, and then for application. We learn how to live based upon, well, I see the Bible truly, it's an instruction manual and a love story, and it's history.
Jack, why don't you read it sometime?
I do, Mom.
Hi.
Welcome back, Noelle. You got noise in the back still, though, so I'm gonna. You're welcome to stay. Yes, welcome, Denizen.
What up, Denizen?
What y'all doing?
Oh, you know,
wrapping up for the last 45 minutes.
That's a favorite pastime of all panels, to wrap up for an hour or three.
I'm always late for this panel.
And I blame the chat.
You blame the chat for him being
Well,
late?
I hate the chat. I hate the chat most of the time, but when I want to wrap my show up, they'll just become thought-provoking until I've lost another 3 hours. But if I stayed, it was worth it, I guess.
Sometimes it is.
Only sometimes. You're right.
Well, this is life. I mean, life really is 50-50. I learned that a long time ago. When we're moving forward, we're either right or wrong. We're either we'll either accomplish our task or we'll fail. One of the two happens. So let's not worry so much about what happened, and let's start wondering, what can I do from here? What does my heart want me to experience while I'm here on
Another
Earth?
2 hours of streaming.
To talk to the UN.
At least minimum. I mean, we should hear Talcott at least for 2.5 hours.
About something boring that Denizen would talk about for 2 hours.
Thanks for reminding me, Denizen. There's been a lot of chatters pointing out the Z's and the boring, and it's like, sorry, sometimes panels just chill. Find the value where you find it. I'm not here to entertain you guys for free. Drop Jack some super chats if you want to entertain.
I'm entertaining to some people, you know. Some people have narcolepsy.
Mm-hmm. Entertainment is in the eye of the beholder. If they're not entertained, they fucked up. They picked the wrong channel.
Oh, wait a minute. Actually, let's talk about that. Entertainment distracts us from growing, from learning, from accomplishing. Entertainment
it can be used along with progress.
The same tactics of the Romans, the bread and circus, keep the slaves entertained. They won't work together. They won't plan. They won't revolt. Let's change things. Let's rock the boat. I believe we can interrupt the political show before November if we try, if God would allow us. Because really, the truth is on our side. The corruption is undeniable. The mismanagement and the absolute dysfunction that is the current state of the American government, it's unacceptable by, I think, any reasonable standards, to be honest.
Certainly by the ones they set out for themselves in their originating documents.
You're still thinking in a nations and government sense. It's mostly theater at this point. But some of the detriment, like I said, is psyoped by the white hats. Like this thing with Trump getting convicted on all charges. That was most likely to get good people to be like, I've got to do something. This is ridiculous. I've got to
stand up for Trump.
Not Trump, but you've got to stand up to get whatever relinquished freedom back you can get.
Well, like Based Oracle said earlier, I think it's just most people are just pure stupid.
Yeah, like you.
Tommy. Hey.
Yeah, like me. Okay.
Privileges, bro. I got him IRL, bro. Bring it. Safety glasses. Anyone can get them. Harbor Freight, $2, bro. Not that special.
For your safety, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Are you talking about the glasses I wear that I always said you guys can get these for blue blockers?
Hey, sorry to interrupt.
Blue blocker?
Tommy, are you willing to sing? There's a credit with Sing, Tommy.
I sang Noelle to Noelle earlier. And Lizard Tree, you bring those over to my channel. I just had to do the burial rites for my dog after spending myself out on cancer treatments and
you kind of did just pay Jack.
Don't support Jack.
You just paid Jack to get Tommy to sing. That's
if I'm gonna do Ruthless Summer, I negated all my last 3 shows super chats because I'm retarded.
Which would make sense if he's your manager. If he's like, what is that, Don King guy?
Yeah, Don King. My guy's gonna knock you up. Oh, I heard maybe Tyson isn't fighting Jake Paul now. That's
Tommy was the name of the hero in that movie too.
Hey guys, let me throw out another Jackism. You know, I want to plant a seed of thought. You brought up Donald Trump, And
That's a dangerous word there, a jackism.
He wants to jack his seed, something.
I mean, that word provides all kinds of borders there. Holy cow.
all right.
Are you not entertained?
Well, hey.
I cut back on jackisms to semen retention.
Oh my
To
God.
retain semen.
Donald Trump was just brought up. I actually believe that he could be an incredible asset if we can convince him to see the corruption like we see, like I see.
Trump is an incredible asset. Jackism number one.
Well, I want to, whoever's listening, I don't know who might listen or who will listen, but let's see what we can do. Let's see if I hope to speak with Donald Trump. He could help us interrupt some of the chaos and craziness. I don't know that he would, but I'd sure like to try. See, because he's facing a lot of challenges. As a man, he is being tested from the court system and everything else. But imagine, Donald Trump already rose to one of the most powerful positions in the world. I was looking at my numbers today. I have some loyal people, but my numbers, I don't have followers. Donald Trump failed. Let's face it. He had the opportunity to bring peace and change to this world, and he didn't do it.
Well, he's not done.
Well, I'd like to help him. I'd like to help him actually follow through with what he claimed he was going to do. And I think it's possible. I really do.
Well, he's a good stance for me to show this panel verse how they're a little too deep in the weeds. Like, they want to act like the right and the left are all behind closed doors. It's all part of the plan. It's all they're reading their script in theater. And there's still a natural political battle going on. And even though there is a world power that has our overall direction in mind, you do have a situation where you can get there the leftist way or you can get there the right way. And I think I'd prefer the freedom way because, like I said, no matter what decision you make, they are so psyop panopticon that no matter what stance you have, you will funnel into the ultimate goal.
Tommy, we agree on so much. And here, the people in Congress, you're right. They believe this political game is real. They're fighting each other and risking their careers and their reputations on the party. They don't realize it's real. They're as confused as everybody else is. They just pretend that they're not, just like most others do.
Well,
they're filthy rich too.
Yep.
It is
and they're first-class citizens.
It affects your life. Like, the decisions made affect our lives. It's why we stayed home for 2 years. It's why we had to quit our jobs, why businesses failed. So there is a realness to it.
The world is being tested. We didn't realize it. I never realized it, but now I see it's pretty clear. Every single day, we are all individually being provided lessons in life. And these lessons we face individually and together, they are to refine and improve our characters. Simple as that.
Yep, and most
right, but not everybody even acknowledges it. You have
I'm becoming a sociopath, Jack.
And most
you have to recognize
it's refining me into a monster.
And most people will take it as an attack.
It's common.
Or they won't even take it as a thing. They'll just keep rolling and not even think about it.
Those who have been raised with competition, we've been trained to be ready to fight. I mean, that's especially the men. Yeah. Hello. It's the world we were born into. And I played the role. I played the role the best I could to be a fighter and a tough guy. And now what I realized, you know what? That's fine. There's a place to be tough, but it's more important to be kind.
Yeah.
It really is.
Well, distribute that kindness where it's applicable. Like I said, I bought food for the people that stuck a gun in my face.
It's fitting to be
because
kind if that fits in your vision, but other people's visions don't. They're not guarded by how they treat you. Like other people just
Yeah, like
railroad you.
Truther Cop was not being kind when he took the PDF stance against me.
I realize
Nor
that
was Illumitami when he came against me saying that I had a dead bird in my hand when it's in fact a living bird. There's a lot
Oh,
to get into here.
that offended you?
That very much offended me, dude.
When did I say you had a dead bird in your hand?
You said I know what that bird means, and you spun a whole narrative about what a dead bird in my hand
No,
means.
I said, do you think that you're two birds? Because you said my picture was
this
a
is
thing.
two different instances. I went from two birds in the fucking bush to one in the hand, motherfucker. I think that's referenced somewhere in history. Yeah, I'm not quite certain of the.
Yeah, Noelle, you tell him. You cut us off. Good move.
So, Jack, I had a point on the political thing going on, and I really see at this point, and for many years now,
I don't know.
maybe all my life, maybe before then even, that the two political parties are really an illusion, and it's really two heads of the same snake, this type of thing. And, to Tommy's point, right, it's theatrics at this point, it really is. And with that said, it's another form of division amongst society. And all of the varying divisions, right, because there's many. It comes down to sports teams. People get in fights over fucking, millionaires who are throwing balls around. And, all these forms of divisions have added up to the lack of unity amongst Americans, which is one reason it's very difficult with any kind of solidarity to fight back at the, evil forces, however you want to kind of put that.
We don't have a national identity anymore.
Yeah,
so
that too. Yeah.
If things were, if things got bad, for lack of a better term, or we went through these cycles previously, they would have to interact with that national identity, and it's not a cohesive thing anymore.
That's why I'm saying that some of the recent things that seem detrimental, I believe, are white hat psyops. To try and regain some of that unity.
Well, I see a lot of people, actually, this idea of identity, it's true. People, that's what we've been conditioned and taught to identify externally as this group identifies me. I fit into this, so that's who I am. And then we end up with all of these different divisions. But these divisions mankind has created, they're just imagined. Wealth and authority, those are lies that people believe in.
Really?
Yep.
How are they lies?
Because money actually has no power. It's simply it's a tool. It's a tool for temptation. See, the world has been tempted. Well, here, let's call it what it is.
This is what I was saying to
There's a lot of references to tools of temptation.
This is what I was saying to Tarek. Like, just like with your daddy, I could sit here and stop you on these phrases and terms that are incorrectly setting a narrative.
Well, what would be a lot more helpful is if you tried to understand instead of argue.
No, you want truth, so that's you. You should try to understand instead of just thinking everything's attacking.
You're disagreeing with things that don't have to be disagreed with. Okay.
But you want truth and you want us all to unify.
Right. And
so I need to tell these people that the biggest buildings in a city are not owned by the banks.
Okay. Congratulations. Can we come back into the present? Right.
Well, it was an example of you're still saying those things.
I know. You found problems with what you heard me say, Tom.
I found disagreements, yeah.
I know. That's what I've been
now, if we find agreements through you getting past your ego and realizing that sometimes, like your daddy, you're just off on a spur, we can find these truths.
Tom, I love you. Guys,
If you loved me, you wouldn't say my name so much.
Well, you keep. How else do I get you to pause?
How else do I get you to pause?
Tom, I'm
Jack,
trying to get.
this is where you're going to loop between, are you leading us or seeking help from us?
I'm just trying to do a live stream, Tom.
And I'm just trying to help you zero in how to say things before you get to the United Nations.
Are you willing to help me get to the United Nations if I
Well, I think
prove well enough?
you can get there. I'm helping you with what I'm helping with.
What do you mean,
Okay.
wait?
I
We're
tried
already
to
here.
help
We're
Wizard
here
with
right
this
now.
stuff.
You're here now. Well, it's time for you to change. Because
Absolutely agree. And with that, guys, I'm out. Be blessed, Jack. Thanks for letting me up. We'll see you next time.
Keith, thank you for joining, brother. Respectfully, I appreciate you. We're growing and learning, and Wizard and we're both overcoming past angers and past patterns of anger.
Oh, he'll get right back there.
It's tough to break a habit. It's tough to break a pattern. It's easier to identify what we want to let go and walk away. Appreciate the pattern that we had in the past. That's what I've been trying to do with my anger. And as I think about it, I'm going to go meditate on this a little later too.
Well, that's what I've always disagreed with this community about is they hear the anger and they don't like it and they don't think about what's actually being said and talked about. Because all my anger and spurging 9 times out of 10, I wouldn't change a thing because I was still speaking truth.
Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt, but what you're saying, that is exactly what I've dealt with. My friends and my family didn't understand what I was saying because I was yelling. And I was yelling because I felt misunderstood, like I wasn't being heard or seen. And so I yelled, believing anger might help. All it became was evidence for people to push me away.
Right, because you were the leader of that family. I get it. But when I've been yelling on these panels, it's usually because like 2 years of PDF accusations and they're still rattling off meth in the chat whenever I've been very honest about any time I've done meth on this panel burst.
Tommy, let me please, I encourage you to learn from my lesson, or at least consider what I've learned. Even no matter what my excuse was, no matter how righteous I was in the moment, my anger and my yelling, it didn't help.
Right, because it was your family.
No, this was friends and my union reps and the managers.
Yeah, the professionalism and stuff. Yeah, I agree. I still don't regret any of the yelling I've ever done on these panels.
Well, okay. I've learned.
Because one day, people that have something against my yelling, one day they'll understand what I was saying.
Going on here. But Mitch is breaking double digits. There are 14.
Right, cross promote somewhere else, Fedora Weeb. We don't care.
You're welcome to drop
Jack's
the
about to
link
get
if
out of
you
here.
like. I am actually, and if you want to drop the link, please do. Or
Yeah, I'll do my best if I can. Yeah, of course.
I appreciate it. And actually, I am ready to wrap up. We're coming up on 3 hours, and I'd like to offer a couple of my own final words.
Did I influence you to limit it to 3 hours?
Nope. Although, you know what?
You
Maybe I am modeling you. Maybe I am learning from your example. I do pay attention, Tommy.
Yeah, and I learned that from Paul. I didn't see any value in like day-to-day 12 hours. So I was like, where am I going to cut these off?
I usually like to, but admit it here. I do actually think I may return later. I don't know if it'll be a panel or here. Pulling up Truth or Cop, are you not a mod here?
No,
God,
sir. You
I
offered me
hope
the
not.
wrench one time. I humbly denied at the time. But no.
Okay. Here we go.
Hey Jack,
Drop.
whenever you do a show later, plug tomorrow's FIFO triple.
All right, I'll
Thanks
try
for your
and
participation on
I'll
Hey,
try
Jack,
and
I have to head out. Sorry to interrupt. But thanks for having me on, and everyone else, we'll see you next time.
Based Oracle, hit up FIFO triple. You'd
Peace.
probably dig it.
Hit up who?
I have 3 nights I do first in, first out panels where there's a system to it that no one can control.
Cool.
So people can be stuck having a conversation they might not want to have.
All right. Yeah, I'll check it out.
thank you for joining, Based. I appreciate what you bring, man. I like your energy, dude.
All right. Have a good one.
Peace. And Tom, are you done?
I mean, yeah, Based Oracle really made me have a hankering for a mayo on white bread sandwich.
All right. I'm ready to.
Well, it wasn't always FIFO.
Yoink.
I mean, Tommy, the night you introduced that show, it had a different name. It was something about a couch. Do you remember the original name of that series? I forget.
Not
It was
even
much
some
more
bologna?
complicated.
Oh, I didn't
I
exit
mean,
when I
just
said
mayo and
yoink.
white bread?
No, dude, you're still here. Plug your show, dude. It's already you already fucked up the
Yoink.
exit. So plug your show, dude. Ah, dude. Anyhow,
Any other thoughts? Denizen, Truth or Cop?
Yeah, if you mix yellow mustard and mayo together, it makes a pretty tasty sauce.
I
But you
gave
need
up.
some meat on a sandwich too, you know? You gave up what?
I gave up mayo.
Why?
I gave up meat.
Why?
I feel more pure. What I learned and what I experienced, it changed my eating. It changed me in many, many ways. I don't consume as much food, period. and I don't eat meats or dairies anymore either. But everyone is different, you know. I encourage everyone explore, but think pure. Think about where your food is coming from before you allow it into your body.
Yeah, mayo has to be a once in a while thing for me too. But I think I feel more pure with lean meats than I do grains.
Mhm. Some
So I
people-
would cut out the mayo, but I'd have to stick with the chicken, you know?
Hey, every one of us is on our own path. And I encourage, you know, life is about trial and error. We're here to experience.
I hope our paths cross again soon, Jack Talcott.
Respect.
Cheers.
Thank you for joining again. Appreciate you. Truth or Cop?
you have a good night, sir. Be well. I'll
Blessings.
talk to you soon.
Thank you. You as well. Noelle? Any last words from you, my friend?
Yes. I'm sorry, yes. Is this the end of the show?
Yes, it is, ma'am. Any
And my thoughts is, are you gonna pee on tomorrow?
yes, ma'am. Same time, same channel.
At what time?
3:00 Pacific. 3:00 Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for asking.
My time? I am so late to every show. Sorry, Jack.
It's all right. If we'll get the rhythm, and if you subscribe, watch for the notifications around 6 p.m. or 3 p.m., wherever the time zone is for you.
So, are we gonna chat tonight in Facebook?
I may. You know, if you'd like to connect, we can certainly connect later. Noelle, thank you again for joining. I'm going to throw you to the
Welcome,
ball.
yes.
All right. Blessings to you. Machine Lies, you still there, brother?
Yes, of course.
Lots of craziness and your patience. Thank you. What are your thoughts, my brother?
Well, I think about what you were sharing, and a few others were sharing about living in the moment, and also conquering the self. I think that there's a lot of important stuff there. I think indecision and boredom are definitely toxic to spiritual development. You have to let your passion sort of be your work, and also not be guided by indecision. You have to decide where you're at, and move with the willpower. I have a type of reading here on some of that, from the Zhang Zi. I like to read from the Zhang Zi, and he says that the really ancient sages, he explains the really ancient sages, they slept calmly and awoke blankly. Sometimes they took themselves for horses. Sometimes they took themselves for cows. Their knowledge of the essence was trustworthy, and their virtue was exceptionally true. They never entered into not people. Don't make a name for yourself or follow a plan. Don't take responsibility or claim knowledge. Thoroughly embody what can't be exhausted, and wander where you can't be seen. Take everything you get from heaven, but don't consider it a gain. Just be empty. Perfected people use their minds like mirrors, not welcoming things as they come or escorting them as they go. They respond without keeping, so they can conquer without harm. Anyways, you guys have a blessed night, and I'll definitely be here for many more conversations with you guys, my dear friends. Have a blessed night.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Machine Wise, deep philosophical discussions over there. I loved what he offered, that the mind, might be misremembering, but the mind and mirror is what stood out for me. The wise use the mind as a mirror, I think, is what he said. The practice of reflection, calmness. I encourage you, practice calmness in your life from now on, as often as you can. Try to remember, if you build in yourself this practice of, I'm okay. I'm okay. Everything is okay. Everything is just how it's going to be. What can I do now? That's the key. What can I do now? Now is the eternal moment. Now is God's presence. Now is your presence. Your opportunity to live is right now. Our opportunity to live is right now. There is no other day. All days are present now. Become a part of now. Don't deny who you are as your participant. You are the active participant and the leader of your life. Take charge. Take charge of you and your happiness, your joy, your calm. Those are yours to own. Nobody can take your joy away, your faith away, your trust away, except you. So all I hope to do is to be a messenger, to share some of my experiences in ways that might be helpful for you, because together, all of us, brothers and sisters here at this time, we are here to rise. That's what growth is. Growth is an adaptation. It's overcoming. It is becoming more. Become more. It is you. You are more. More than your mind. You're more than your feelings. And you're more than the limits the world wants you to believe in. So, brothers and sisters, please, there was many things brought up. I want to thank everyone who joined the panel, everyone who joined the chat, and whatever platform you're on at whatever time. Thank you for sharing your time, your energy, your attention in this game of life that we are living and creating together. I do hope I may return later, a short stream. I've got some ideas in my head, and I may try to see how it comes out regarding some practices of meditation and surrender that I've been learning for myself. We'll see how it goes. And please stay tuned, if anything, for tomorrow, and we'll see where the future brings. Brothers and sisters, thank you again. Choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. God bless us all. Doggone it, wrong one again.